Broadcasting to you live from the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, not California. We're talking Nashville for Blake Walley down there, and we're talking the Big L. Wait, Big L? Big L's a rapper. I didn't even know who Big L was until Harry Mack started dropping him into bars. I guess he was a big influence of Harry Mack, the world's greatest freestyle rapper. Blake got to join us in Nashville for a concert with Mr. Harry Mack. But yeah, so Big L, that's the Louisville. I don't know, you put the L on your forehead. That's not a cool thing, but the L in Louisville, it's a decent thing. So anyway, I digress, but my name is Brian Engelman. As I mentioned, this is Blake Walley, and we are joined today by all of you in the wonderful world of the internet connectivity empire. I don't know what the hell you want to call it, but thank you for being here. Thank you so much for being here. It's super cool. Today is Thursday, August the 3rd, 2023. And what we're going to be talking about today is the following. We're going to obviously talk about Donald Trump, Donald John Trump. Now, apparently, you can get thrown in jail for the rest of your life for talking, even though we have a First Amendment. I guess there's no big deal there, right? We're going to discuss. We're also going to discuss Tucker's Devon Archer interview, taking aim at the Bidens. What is that all about? Is that confirming corporate media control? I mean, go ahead, say no, disagree with that. Put it in the comments section below. How do you find us? YouTube.com/thenewamericanmedia. Rumble. Where else are we live? Twitter at American_media_. You can check out Blake. He's on Twitter at TV's Blake Walley. That's WALLEY. And also thenextlevelnews.com. But yeah, join our show live. Participate. You type the questions in. Tell us the stories that we didn't mention. Say, hey, this is important. Is this on your radar? We love incorporating it. So also, we're going to discuss Gonzalo Lira. We were kind of excited, Blake. We were optimistic about him, kind of getting back to freedom a couple of days ago when we did our Tuesday show. Things are not as positive right now. And I've pretty much had it up to here with Zelensky in Ukraine. Anyway, we'll talk about it. Is he a political prisoner that needs to be freed from Ukraine? Ukrainians kidnapping Americans. Let's just call it what it is. Ukrainians are kidnapping Americans. Do you disagree that this is a problem? Tell us in the comments. Okay, Fed boys, tell us the reasons why we're so wrong. Also, final topic, and not really final, because I really want to maybe find a way to mention Lizzo getting into this, because that was the most ridiculous story I may have heard, maybe ever, but it's kind of fantastic, and it just kind of it's also perfect. But anyway, the last topic in our show stack for today is agree or disagree. Twitter's X recommendation algorithm. It's weighted fairly for everybody. Yes or no? Agree or disagree? So that's going to be up to you. We appreciate you joining us, as I said, and we are getting ready to jump into today's fantastical program. Started with Blake's wonderful demo intro. Well, here it is. Here's us.
Okay.
I do wonder how great of a listening experience that is if you're on Spotify and it's in your earbuds going rah, at the end. But I digress. We got 100 edits to make on that, but I like it. I love everything about it except for the 35 edits I'd like to make, and I know that's going to just send us down a spiral of more work that nobody has time for. So I haven't even brought it up. I haven't even put the list together, but it's fantastic as it is. But it could also be 3 times as cool. It's awesome. Blake did that.
And remember, Brian, you made a documentary. You are perfectly capable of doing video editing.
You would be surprised at the things that it takes. You would be surprised. You would be surprised. Blake is the talented one when it comes to the editing and all of that jazz. But yeah, if you want to hire Blake directly for some editing stuff, you can reach out to him on Twitter at TV's Blake Walley. Anyway, let's jump into today's number one topic, Blake. Obviously, let's talk about the baseball game last night. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
So, Donald Trump has been indicted a 3rd time now. Blake, do you agree or disagree that this indictment is legally flawed and politically shady? Agree or disagree?
Well, I am not enough of a legal expert to actually say it's flawed, but it is definitely politically shady. So I'm just going to agree and just assume that it is legally flawed. And the timing is obviously suspect. As you put in today's title, it's the 3rd time. And we do have that video. It just seems coincidental every time that Trump gets indicted. It's to distract from something, or at least it's a major coincidence, but I'm going to say it's not. So, yes, it's all going on right now.
You said we have the video.
Yeah, I do have a video. Let's
mentioned it. Let's play it.
Okay, let's roll.
Kenneth B. What the L? Nice. He's a wordsmith, that Kenneth B. I like him.
What? Now I get this. Something went wrong, but don't fret. Let's see if we can pull it up.
Oh, okay.
Here we go.
The timing of this indictment was coordinated to take the heat off Biden.
Oh, of course.
What happened? What happened?
It never fails. I am going to send that to you, Brian, because every time, it runs perfectly fine until the show starts, and then it just totally falls apart. But
I don't know. Blake has all week in between our shows to make sure he works on these things. So the technology, he was saying the same thing to me earlier because I tried to get the green screen to work.
Well, that's totally different things here, Brian. We're talking about the computer power versus internet power. These are very separate. I am streaming on Elon's Starlink, which makes it difficult to run things as well as my own live streaming and my uploading. So I will let you take care of that. It's a less than 1 minute clip, and it's from Jesse Waters, and it was tweeted out by Jimmy Johnson.
How do I pause? It wouldn't give me the pause option. I swear, tech sometimes. We need a producer. Somebody, we're available. We got a catalog of material. We don't have to cuss, and you can probably edit that out in post-production anyway. But hey, we're open to take this show on the road if you want to jump, bring us on to one of your networks for sure. Here, let me go ahead and do the screen share. Yeah, wouldn't it be so cool if somebody could handle all of the behind the scenes things and the graphics and the videos, and you just set it up in advance and you can just focus on the show instead of multitasking?
Well, anyway, shows do. Yeah.
Huh?
Oh yeah, most shows do. I have necessarily. We're a spontaneous internet show here, but yeah.
But the spontaneity is what makes it awesome. Here we go.
The timing of this indictment was coordinated to take the heat off Biden. This is the 3rd time this has happened. You ready? On March 17th, Hunter admitted the laptop was his. And on the very next day, Trump received word Alvin Bragg was indicting him in New York. On June 8th, an FBI document broke that Ukraine paid Biden a $5 million bribe. And the next day, on June 9th, Biden's DOJ indicts Trump on the Mar-a-Lago.
It's absurd.
Yesterday, on July 31st, a Biden insider told Congress that Biden spoke with Hunter Biden's business partners dozens of times, and Hunter was paid handsomely to get his dad to fire the prosecutor in Ukraine.
It's on video.
And then today, August 1st, Biden's Justice Department indicts Trump on January 6 charges. The timing of this indictment was coordinated.
There we go. All right. I mean,
it's been a question: is the timing coordinated to distract the public at specific times? Like when they're under fire, all of a sudden, oh hey, look over there, it's Trump. And then I don't know, Brian just dropped out here, so that's another technical issue. he took one for the team to run that clip, and it just overwhelmed his 2 gigs of RAM on his 10-year-old laptop. Sorry, Brian, but I appreciate you pulling that. All right, there he is. That taxed Brian's computer power too much. He's only got 2 gigs of RAM on his computer.
Look, dude, I went and bought a brand new Mac last year, and it was a piece of junk. I took it back right at the 30-day window. Actually, I think it was like half a day past it, and I had to get a manager to get him to swap it back for me. But it was junk, man. You couldn't plug anything into it. I'm like, I can't put a USB. I can't put a memory card. I can't like from my cameras. I couldn't use it for fucking anything. And it's like, right. Well, you know, the cool thing about the Macs, they have that magnetized little power strip. You plug it in the back, it snaps in. But if you walk into it, it pops right out and doesn't rip your computer out and slam it up against the wall or into the fish tank. So I'm like, oh, okay, at least that. No, it's all USB-C. Everything goes through USB-C. So they sold you another adapter for like $300 to plug into the one USB-C or something like that. And it had the other, and it didn't attach right. It was jiggly, jangly, falling off. I'm like, this friggin' sucks. And I've liked Macs. I've had 2 MacBooks, and they've been great over right. the history of the New American Media. They functioned fantastically, and I do everything fine here.
Right, laptops are great, but not necessarily for the to running the hardware requirements for this show necessarily. But hey,
so you're on a PC. You're on a PC with a webcam, is what you're doing?
Yeah. Yeah, I needed some muscle. I love my MacBook too, but it's you know, it's got its limitations as far as trying to run a show and as far as doing heavy editing. But anyway, so it's all good. I got the hardware power, and Brian's got the internet. But
and together we're Captain Planet. Or so, you almost have a Captain Planet shirt on. You got a not Team America. It's a Captain America shirt.
Yeah,
right,
something like that. Yeah.
Anyway. Thanks for joining us on that little sidebar, that little quest. But once I played that, I got a big error message in the comments section, so I couldn't see anything on the screen that was happening, so I had to hit refresh. But anyway, Blake, you were saying, what were you saying? We were talking about the timeline.
Coincidence. So yeah, we've got some issues with this. They are, I don't know exactly know what's going on, because this is kind of happening at the same time that we're on the air.
Oh, okay.
Like in DC, as there are, you know, indicting Trump again. And it's, yeah, no coincidence. It's been hanging for like a couple of weeks. Like, he was supposed to get indicted. They floated that out. It was going to be imminent. They served him on a Sunday. And then it seems like they just kind of waited until it was, you know, politically convenient. And then as soon as the, you know, the Devon Archer thing breaks and, you know, the walls are closing in on Hunter and Joe, then all of a sudden, oh yes, now they've made their move. So yeah, it's all going down on DC. We shall see, but obviously this is a major story. Yes.
I'm just, you know, walk me through this. DC isn't even a state.
Right.
They have jurisdiction. They're not a state. They're a
district. I mean, criminals. Yeah. Kleptocracy. And they're going after their political rival. And they're trying to make an example of him. And they have to. They can't afford to have him get back into office because they know what could potentially happen. Especially now, after they've gone after him as hard as they have. And so they're going to try to get something to stick. And here it is. And this is going into our question. There's another headline that I ripped off directly from the Federalist. We're close. So yes, this is 6 ways. This is Jack Smith's latest indictment is legally flawed and politically shady. And we'll just run down here. And his rush to get Trump has done serious violence to our constitutional order and Bill of Rights. So Special Counsel Jack Smith's latest indictment against Trump seeks to criminalize political speech and taking incorrect legal advice. Americans of all political stripes should be furious and deeply concerned by the course Smith has set this country on. So, he has 4 counts on this indictment for Trump conspiring to defraud the United States by using knowingly false claims of election fraud to obstruct federal government function by which those results are collected, counted, and certified. That's certainly debatable. The second and third allege conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding and the actual or attempted obstruction of an official proceeding. And the fourth alleges conspiracy against rights by knowingly conspiring to deprive Americans of their right to vote and have their votes counted. So they're just really trumping up anything they can against Trump. Well.
And by the way, yeah, because this is breaking in real time, I'm taking a look here under Trump arraignment on Twitter. Follow us at American_media_. It says here, Trump reportedly reaches a $375 million deal to sell the Trump International Hotel in Washington, D.C. And of course, the comment here is, you idiots are gullible. If the Messiah thought he had 1% chance of becoming POTUS, you think he would have sold his D.C. hotel? You're being duped to pay his legal bills. You know, this is a strange time. Hillary, dead to rights on all of the crimes. She was never president. She had private servers being accessed, i.e. hacked, i.e. wink, wink, nudge, nudge. We'll buy 10 million copies of your book and then just give us access. Or, you know, these people have been dead to rights on legitimate criminal activity for a long time. And they're made of Teflon, Blake. I don't understand when the judicial system won't assist us. What are we left with, man? What are we left with here? Is it really the military's the only way? Trust the plan. It's the biggest sting operation in the history of mankind. Like, if I could bang my head up against a brick wall hearing that crap for another 3 years, like, it wouldn't be painful enough for me to try to ask the question, who can help? Supreme Court, military, aliens. We're running out of options here, man, because this is pretty crystal clear that our government has been overtaken by more Democrats. The judicial, the prosecutorial, especially. This is harassment. This is prosecutorial misconduct. This is election interference. Plain as day. Who will file those charges? Is there isn't there somebody from a red state that could file charges against all of these people claiming exactly what I said on behalf of the people who are likely anticipating Trump to be the nominee to become the next president because he got screwed out of the last one, according to a majority of Americans in a lot of polls right now? Isn't there a red state somebody that could sue to stop this stuff? Is anybody going to help, or is everybody just being like that little weasel Ron DeSantis or that turncoat Mike Pence? What do we do here?
Well, they have to impeach him, so that's up to the House, and the Republicans do have the majority, so there is pressure to do that. And once that happens, that could open up all kinds of things, and then they can go after Biden, and they're going to need to, because we can't vote our way back in. It's either that or we set up a fair election system. I don't think that's going to happen. And then the last thing is potentially a civil war, especially if these people continue to, go after their political opposition. We're all going to get, it's us or them.
And this is literal. This is so similar to what's going on with Bolsonaro and Lula down in Brazil. I mean, you got a criminal enterprise that overthrows the election, and then they charge and try to jail the political opposition. This is Banana Republic stuff. It's just insanity, Blake. I don't know. I don't even know what else I'm supposed to say at this point. I've said it 3 different times for 3 different indictments.
Right.
It's the Obama crime family. Yeah, you keep saying Biden. He's the puppet. Obama has his hand, or Michelle, his hand so far up a Biden's backside. What do they say with communism? You can vote your way in, but you have to shoot your way out. That's what they always say. You just kind of alluded to something similar. You're like, well, are we going to vote something different? If you can't vote, you're down to a bad option that is not being advocated by anybody right now. But my God, the entire American system is being dismantled in front of us. If you've never had a time to, if it's never felt like a good time to become a participant in the goings on of your own country, this might be a great time to start, Blake.
Yeah, you'd think so. I don't know how far people have to be pushed and to pay attention, but they haven't. This is kind of the result when people aren't. And it should be obvious, but if you're not looking, or you're just casually getting a little bit of news, especially from the legacy media, and it doesn't even matter if it's left or right. We'll get into that, because Fox News isn't a whole lot better than some of the leftists, the way that they're controlling information, which we will get to when we get to the Tucker Carlson topic. But a little teaser for you coming up, because we only got a short show. But yeah,
are we ready to jump? Are we ready to jump to Tucker now, or did we want to hit a couple other points?
Oh, we got a few points to hit before we get there, but that's will be coming up within the next within this hour. I think I've only got about 40 minutes left. But yeah, here's a tweet from Wayne Allen Root saying, "Yes, we are now a third world shithole and banana republic ruled by communist thugs and tyrants out to arrest opposition, silence free speech, and destroy dissent." And he's sharing this article here from the New York Post, showing this guy's compromised. He should have recused himself. This Trump special counsel, his wife worked on an Obama film and donated to Biden. So how is he in charge? So the wife of newly appointed special counsel Jack Smith, newly appointed because this is back in November when this happened, produced a movie about Michelle Obama donated to Biden's 2020 campaign.
Okay,
so
hold on.
He's dirty.
Let's go back. So what did he do? Hold on. Hold on. What? You're saying Jack Smith, the special prosecutor, can you repeat?
He produced a movie. He's a producer about former First Lady Michelle Obama. No, it's the wife.
He's a producer, not a lawyer.
His wife is a producer.
Oh, his wife made the movie.
Wife of newly appointed special counsel Jack Smith is a filmmaker.
Okay, I missed that. I thought you were saying Jack Smith was a filmmaker. I'm like, oh God, are we really? Okay, but his wife.
Well, he's doing making his own film there in DC right now. I'm sure they're going to get a few highlights. So he produced a movie, or she did, about former First Lady Obama, and she donated to President Biden's 2020 campaign. So, yeah, these people are compromised. So here he is, and he's going to be appointed to complete investigations into Donald Trump, and we're supposed to believe that he's impartial. No, he was appointed by Attorney General Merrick Garland. So we can't trust any of this. This is a political hit job.
So what comes next? Are they actually going to try to kidnap the president and put him into a cell?
If they can,
throw him in a hole and then pull an Epstein on him. Are they really trying to do that to the person we voted for president? Are they really trying to do that?
Well, it's us or them. Yeah. Why wouldn't they? They know that once they're going to be under the scrutiny, and when they see what kind of the treason and the sedition that they're involved in, yeah, it's going to happen to them. So they
what was that quote from Hillary? She said, "If Trump gets in, we're all going to hang." Was that an accurate quote? Do you recall that one?
I remember that. I don't know if that's an actual quote. That has been said, though. And she probably did. We're all going to hang. Yeah.
Factcheck.org says there's no evidence that Clinton sent a nooses email to Brazil. PolitiFact. No, I don't want to see these fake debunking sites. Donna Brazil torches.
But yeah, but speaking of Hillary and Stacey Abrams and many others, claim for years their elections were stolen from them. But then Jack Smith is going to try to twist that against Trump.
Did you happen to have any like that compilation of here's 20 minutes of Democrats denying elections?
I don't, but what I do,
I shared that on Twitter. If you guys want to go back, it's at American_media_. Scroll back a little bit, but it's like 10 minutes or 20 minutes of Democrats denying the election results.
Right, but what I will do is I will show this quick clip here from Forbes a while ago about the Democrats' rhetoric at the impeachment trial.
That the president in any way wished, desired, or encouraged encourage lawless or violent behavior is a preposterous and monstrous lie. In fact, the first two messages the president sent via Twitter once the incursion of the Capitol began were stay peaceful and no violence because we are the party of law and order. The gathering on January 6th was supposed to be a peaceful event. Make no mistake about that. And the overwhelming majority of those in attendance remained peaceful. As everyone knows, the president had spoken at hundreds of large rallies across the country over the past 5 years.
Yep.
There had never been any mob-like or riotous behaviors, and in fact, a significant portion of each event was devoted to celebrating the rule of law.
Yeah, and by the way,
protecting our Constitution.
Yeah.
And honoring the men and women of law enforcement.
Want to get a word in there, Brian?
Yeah. Maybe he might get to it. I'm not trying to steal his thunder, but I mean, the president requested the National Guard to be on site to oversee everything. It's over. There's nothing else that needs to be said. That's on Pelosi and Bowser. The president is the fact that the president requested the National Guard, is that an established and agreed upon fact, or is that still murky?
Say that one more time. I was distracted there.
The president requesting National Guard to be there on January 6th for that event. Yeah. Is it a known and established fact from both sides, or is that disputed in its accuracy? Are there people that claim that the president did not request National Guard, even though he was requesting National Guard during the whole riot season of 2020? And if we're going to start indicting people, where are the red state governors and the red state attorney generals that are going to indict the Democrats that were encouraging people to burn the cities down and bailing them out of jail for it? If we're going to start doing this, where the hell are the Republicans? Where is the fucking pushback for this? Sorry, Blake, go ahead.
Yeah, no, this is part of it. But yes, I do believe he spoke about that with the, I think it was the former sergeant at arms, but he also mysteriously died. So,
oh my God,
quite got the answers for that. Oh yeah, the corruption runs very high, and they're willing to, jail, murder, anything they can to silence their opposition and stay in power. They have to, otherwise they could be going to jail for a very long time. And yes, this clip will continue to show some of these other clips showing the Democrats doing way worse things.
And by the way, I don't want to take away from the rest of what he's about to say. He might have another minute.
It's not. The rest of it is there's a montage, so it's not just him talking the whole time. There's there's other point to this. It's a short clip.
Yeah, let's get to those.
Okay, here we go.
Contrast the president's repeated condemnations of violence with the rhetoric from his opponents.
I am your president of law and order and an ally of all peaceful protesters.
The vast majority
of course
of the protests have been peaceful.
Republicans stand for law and order, and we stand for justice.
I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country. Maybe there will be.
My administration will always stand against violence, mayhem, and disorder.
There needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives.
Right now. I stand with the heroes of law enforcement.
And you push back on them, and you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere.
We will never defund our police. Together we will ensure that America is a nation of law and order.
When we were in high school, I'd take you behind the gym and beat the hell out of him.
I think you need to go back and punch him in the face. Feel like punching him.
We just want law and order. Everybody wants that.
I want to tell you, Judge, I want to tell you, Kavanaugh, you have released the whirlwind, and you will pay the price.
We want law and order. We have to have law and order.
Show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
We believe in safe streets, secure communities, and we believe in law and order.
Indict them all. Tell me there's not somebody in a really deep red state that could just be the equivalent, somebody on the other side that can push back, fight back, and bite back. It's only Merrick Garland that can indict people? We have a social contract with 49
we got James
states.
Comer in your backyard, right? And there's
if you're one
Jim
state,
Jordan.
You're in the middle. Hang on, I'm just trying to.
Yeah.
If you're one state, let's say you are for example, you can buy our merch.
It's
the
up to the House
Unhappy Hour. Let's imagine you're the state of Ohio.
Yeah.
And you're in a social contract with an election with 49 other states.
Yeah.
Can't you indict to say that your actions have disenfranchised my legal agreement to participate in this union called the United States? I'm indicting you because you were encouraging civil unrest for the entire summer of 2020. Arrest him. Indict them. Go. You're telling me nobody can do this in Alabama and Texas? Pick your deepest red state. You're telling me nobody wants to push back or fight back? They're all bought off and paid for. They're all corrupted. They're all Mike Pence's and snake in the grass Ron DeSantis's. There's really nobody of any moral character that's going to stand up for us while we have a chance. Okay.
Brian, they're trying to run the impeachment stuff, and those are Republicans from red states all working together. And yes, you've got your James Comer in your backyard. You've got Jim Jordan from your great state of Ohio. There are some people, yes, it's a lot of harshly worded letters, but they have the power to run that and to run the impeachment. And also Marjorie Taylor Greene, or if Kevin McCarthy is going to put the pressure on, I don't know. So yes, they have to. Because otherwise, they're just going to be picked off one by one. We either hang together or hang separate, as they say. So it's going to have to be. But yes, they are going to. Otherwise, we just watch the Democrats slowly. They're going to put Trump away if they can, and I'll go back to some of these articles. Or these are just the 6 ways that the latest indictment is legally flawed and politically shady. So if this thing crumbles apart, then they're going to try to indict him in Georgia for some trumped up stuff over there, even though Stacey Abrams has been involved in saying the election was rigged over there. So yeah, they're going to have to try to prove a fraud conspiracy as the misapplication of obstruction laws, and it's perfectly timing for a trial for election season. So I think we kind of leave it on here. Inserting this case into the presidential election season as all the appearances of an attempt by Smith to substitute the judgment of his office, a single judge, and 12 D.C. jurors for the millions of Americans who would otherwise have had the opportunity to weigh these facts alongside all the other political considerations that go into a presidential election. These millions of Americans will likely be faced with a choice to vote for Smith's boss, Joe Biden, or his likely opponent, Donald Trump. Prosecuting a political opponent during a presidential election in this manner smacks of banana republic politics. Yeah, they could have done this 2 years ago, and in fact, that clip I played, that was, I believe, at the hearing.
But they did this 2 years ago. They
had January 6th
that sham trial for 2.5 years. They had Pelosi and Cheney running that. What happened to that? Nothing. And they're literally trying to make a remake of a movie that nobody watched. I mean, isn't it the exact same case they're making that they failed to make with Kinzinger and Cheney and Pelosi? Isn't it the same exact thing?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't even get how this is a thing. How is somebody not instantly jump? Isn't there?
We just watched it. We
just
showed Jesse
Court
Waters
can jump in and participate and squash some of this shit.
No, it's a political hit job. These people are desperate. They are going to jail for treason forever if Trump gets back in. So they are going to do everything they can to take him out, and they will arrest everybody, including me, you, and every Republican they have to, anyone in MAGA. It's us or them. We can't blame them for doing that, of course. And I got to make the optics look like for the American people, like it's all Trump. Because once the scandal gets to Biden, the Democrats are finished.
I did hear a good point. I'm trying to think outside the box here. I don't just want to vent and, off the top of my head, say what I'm saying here and try to be careful at what I'm saying. But I did see an interesting interview with Steve Bannon and Kash Patel. Kash, am I saying that right? Is that his last name?
Kash Patel. Sounds right.
They are, at least Kash, and judging by the reaction to Bannon, perhaps giddily anticipating the opportunity to present the largest, most important court trial of all time, to call Obama, Hillary, Biden, every one of the key players, Pelosi, go down the list, to call them all as witnesses. maybe that is the grand plan, to suck them in, to get them in a courtroom, and here you go. I don't know if they're trying to win the court of public opinion, but I mean, what do you think of that? That the point of this is to have a full public trial about all of this. But I feel like we've been having this full public trial.
Try to calm down, Ryan. I know you're kidding. Yes, there could be absolutely a silver lining to all of this, and it's going to turn around on them. So let me flip through a few stories real quick. Yes, we do know Joe Biden pressured Merrick Garland to indict President Trump, his main political rival, who is beating him in the polls. And that comes off of the Devon Archer testimony that was quite damning, showing that him and his son involved in 20 calls at least with foreign officials, selling us out to foreign interests. And then we have, let's move on to another one. How about, it's Donald Trump. Here's his Truth Social. He says he's going to D.C. to be arrested for having challenged a corrupt, rigged, and stolen election. It's a great honor because I am being arrested for you. Make America great again. And 62% of the country knows 2020 was rigged, and more people know that these criminal charges are purely political. And then here we go. Soon it will be our turn. Trump promises revenge for the latest federal charges. So if he gets back in, it's going to be hell for the Democrats. Gloves are off. And yes, and they did it all to themselves. Turnabout is fair play. And here is another one I have. Newest indictment gives Trump legal power that he never had before. So this is former President Donald Trump attorney John Lauro sees at least one silver lining in the DOJ's latest indictment of his client, because Trump will get to litigate why he believes the 2020 presidential election was fraudulent. And so
maybe, I mean, if it's fraudulent, why wouldn't the judge just say, I'm going to exclude that, order in the court? Nope, you can't. Yeah, nope, we're not going. Couldn't the judge just exclude his opportunity to defend himself, though?
I'm not sure
doing
yet.
Everything else.
Well, that I don't know. I'm not enough of a legal expert, especially with in D.C. I don't know with the federal and how they're going to handle that. And with special counsel Jack Smith, of course, they would like to make sure that he doesn't have a chance to present some of that evidence, much like the courts never saw the evidence for what happened. They just dismissed it because they didn't want to touch it. So let's run a quick clip from this Trump attorney on CNN, and he handled himself really well. This was great. So let's roll it.
I saw this. Yeah, this was great.
Legislators that you just mentioned there in the courts.
Right. What was not true? That there were states where ballots were sent out without people asking for them, where there were changes in verification, where there were instances where ballots were not being supervised at drop-off places. The president was told, given advice, that under these circumstances, the state legislatures have the ultimate ability to qualify electors. He followed that advice. Now, you may disagree as to whether or not those things actually occurred or not. That's why we have political debate. We don't have criminal trials over that. We have the discussion like we're just having.
But it matters if those things actually occurred or not, John.
Not under the First Amendment.
But it matters if those things actually occurred because...
Not at all, because under the First Amendment,
it was actually fraud.
No, the First Amendment allows.
But John, let me stop you there, because if he's saying that there was fraud, the First Amendment doesn't allow the President of the United States to go and claim there was fraud when he was told there was not fraud, and then try to subvert the election by overturning legitimate electors. I mean, it says it right here in the actual indictment.
Absolutely, the First Amendment protects all speech. If we're going to have a situation where the Department of Justice is going to fact check politicians and indict politicians for political speech and whether or not they're factually accurate, then this country will shut down politically, because it's a never-ending cycle of tit for tat. And that's the risk of injecting politics into the criminal justice system. So right now, people disagree with President Trump. What's going to happen 4 years from now if somebody disagrees with President Biden in terms of what he said during the election? That's why we don't criminalize political speech. Political speech under the First Amendment has an almost absolute protection. Nobody gets to judge whether it's true or not, except the American people. And we do that in an election. We do that in an election. We do that in the case of a president by impeachment, but we don't indict people.
Yeah. So There is.
What is that girl's name?
Assuming it's a girl, I'm not 100%. The people have questioned that because.
Wait, what?
Oh,
oh God, this is a new thing. Wait, what?
Look at the neck and the jaw, and I'm not, saying
God.
that anything's invalid, and I'm not, dismissing her appearance, but I'm just saying that.
What's her name?
People have questioned. I think it's Ashley something. I know because she was in
Ashley
another.
Biden. Did she take inappropriate showers with?
No, I think it's a different Ashley. I don't know. But
I'm searching Ashley, but I need more than that.
I don't.
You're saying
remember.
she?
Oh wait.
Okay, so she might be. Oh my gosh! All right, we don't have time for that.
I don't even care. I care about the content of her information. But she's working at CNN. I think under Anderson Cooper. So she's not.
I don't think she's going to be under Anderson Cooper unless she is what you're saying she might be. Anyway, good Lord, this is we might as well just cut to the Lizzo story right now. We're not even going to get there. I'll pull it up after Blake's gone. But anyway, no, that's the same girl that had Trump on for the town hall and she got wrecked.
Yeah,
she is an oblivious human.
Well, she's an attack dog journalist like some of them, but yeah, she's gone up against some formidable opponents that were able to smack her down. So that's what happened.
Goodness. Yeah, okay. That clip is just astonishing. Well, you don't have the right to say things. We're here in America, sweetheart. He's
got every right to question the election. And if this goes to trial, then he should be allowed to present some of that evidence on why he thought this was legitimate. And again, he was saying, be peaceful. There was nothing. He's law and order president. We've seen the clips. It's blatant hypocrisy that they're going to try to go after Trump for things. And they said things that were 1,000 times worse. They were fanning the flames
over and over.
Yeah.
Across the whole country.
Right. So they got a weak case, but I mean, they're desperate criminals. And this is all optics, and they're trying to take attention away from Devon Archer and the big scandals going on with Biden, which we're probably ready to transition there. And then we'll see what happens with this Trump thing. So, I mean, this is all kind of happening right now as we speak. I can only imagine the insanity going on in D.C. right now.
Real quick, Blake, how would you respond to Mike in the chat room who says that Trump is getting what he deserves? I'm concerned.
I don't know what that means. What is he getting? What does he deserve exactly? He's already gone through 2 impeachments. They keep indicting him. Hey, Trump supporters, did you actually? This is one of the talking points that they keep putting out about, did we actually read the indictment charges? Yeah, actually, I did read the indictment charges. I read them off the Federalist article. There's 4 charges. What is the issue with that? So I don't know. Or am I just doing what right-wing YouTubers are telling you? I'm not right-wing. So I'm independent journalist. If anything, I would consider myself liberal. But not to be confused with the modern leftists. So I don't know exactly what that means. Then why do I say that? Yeah.
Blake, I'd like to ask you a follow-up question.
It sounds like he's the cult follower. Mike, you're the cult follower just repeating like the leftist talking points that I see anywhere on Twitter. What are you saying? There's nothing original about them. They stick to the exact same talking points or they're out of the cult. So I don't know what's going on here. But
Blake, I'd like to ask you an important follow-up question on that same regard. Blake, then why do you sound so dumb, says Mike? Just if you wanted to retort to the accusation of being dumb, please.
Well, I don't know.
Stop changing the. All right, this guy's just calling names.
You got to start from the beginning and watch the entire thing that we've discussed. So there's a lot of information there, including the YouTube with Trump's previous lawyer when he points all this information out with the leftist hypocrisy. So this is not being applied equally. And let's switch to the. We've only got about 15 minutes, Brian, but we got to transition to the next story here.
I guess we haven't had to deal with. I guess we haven't had to deal with trolls under the bridge. Should we block the user
no,
on YouTube?
Not at all. No, I don't care.
It's not very productive, and it's just name calling. Like if they want to make points, make your points. They're fun to. It's fun to play tennis against an opponent. We don't just want to hit up against a brick wall in an echo chamber like you listening to MSNBC
Mike, what separates Mike from the other leftists? Let's just hear, because I'm actually, like I said, I'm independent. I voted for Democrats, Republicans. I've been registered as a libertarian, as a Green Party. I'm as independent as you can get. But what separates Mike from the average leftist? He doesn't have anything to say. They cannot give you an issue where they have a different opinion than the collective. Otherwise, they're out of the collective. So I don't know.
Well, it seems highly possible.
Trolling, but yeah, I don't care. Go for it. You're allowed to have a difference of opinion. I'm not going to block you unless you're, harassing other people or doing something.
Well, I mean, the main contribution is to call you a snowflake and to call you dumb and to call you a moron.
Yeah,
that's not a contribution. That's some bullshit. That make a point. If you have something intelligent to say, put it in. You can disagree, but this is ridiculous. We like Mike. Okay, we'll keep Mike in. Let's go to the next topic because we have a heart out with you.
What am I not answering? Whether I'm dumb or something? I mean, what am I really supposed to answer that? I don't know what he's saying.
There was.
Yeah, I thought I already did. I thought I already answered the question.
Next topic. We've given him enough air already. I will say it's pretty fun though. We know we're starting to grow as a show because we're starting to get some haters. I like it. Welcome.
I know.
Just intelligent points, dude. That's make some good points. Whatever you're doing is trash. Are you a third grader? I mean, based on the level of blurts of nonsense. Just are we at a third grade level because you really are in home ec right now? Or are you in algebra? What? I mean, make some points if you want to. All right, Blake, agree or disagree? Tucker's Devon Archer interview confirms that corporate media is controlled. Agree or disagree?
Yeah, absolutely. I saw a great tweet put out by this, so I am going to pull this up from, let's find out. One of my friends, actually, from Chadwick Moore. So Tucker got the interview first before the network. So last night, Tucker Carlson interviewed Devon Archer, and guess what? None of the other networks did. So Tucker got the interview first before the networks. His cancellation from Fox may be remembered as the moment when independent media eclipsed corporate media. Nothing in corporate media matters anymore. And so here you have Tucker Carlson talking. This is just part one. He's got a second one coming up. And Fox News' decision to ignore Tucker's interview with Devon Archer is infuriating employees who still believe in covering news. And apparently, some insiders, there's some leaked information. Quote from a host, "Are you effing kidding me? How do we not cover this?" He got Hunter's business partner to just casually admit all of this on a Twitter video. Yeah, you'd think this would be a huge scoop, and there would be every media person out of all the networks would be, stumbling over themselves trying to get Devon Archer on their show, but they're not. And you would think Fox News obviously would want to speak to Devon Archer. It doesn't say who this is, but I mean, it could be anybody. Whoever, it could be Jesse, or I can't see Brett Baer using the F-bomb like that, but whether it's Hannity or Jesse or Gutfeld or anybody there, they would love to get Devon Archer on this. So why is Fox News not doing it? So another top Fox source adds the amount of agitation in this building over not being able to use, they weren't even able to use the footage of Tucker's interview about Devon Archer. Just a ton of groaning and cursing from producers and a couple anchors that it's gold, but we're not allowed to touch it or use it or refer to it. Network employees tell me they also weren't allowed to cover Tucker's newsworthy interviews with presidential candidates in Iowa. So yes, they have shunned him, blacklisted Tucker, and they are not trying to get these interviews. They are controlled opposition. Even though we ran a clip from Jesse Waters, he does a terrific job. The Greg Gutfeld show is very good. Some of the other hosts do cover some important issues. It's a lot better than CNN or MSNBC, obviously. But yes, this was very telling. So yeah, Tucker Carlson, that's great stuff. So that is going to further the divide now, as they're saying, between the independent media and everybody else. The legacy is dying, and for this very reason. It's propaganda. You read the scripts, you do what you're told, and Tucker, did as much as he could, but after the J6 stuff, and for a variety of reasons, touching on subjects that made his bosses uncomfortable, they let him go. And now look at this. So kudos to Tucker. That's fantastic. One of the great real journalists. And they also got rid of Lou Dobbs.
So what were the main points that came out of this interview? Like, obviously we're seeing that the other, you can call them corporate media, or I like to say, what do I say, Blake, about them? Not mainstream. What do I call them?
The legacy,
yes. Missing a word.
I forget.
It's an alliteration before legacy.
The lame. I don't know.
Lying legacy media. They are not mainstream at all. They are lying legacy. Look at that. We're back to the double L's. The lying legacy media.
Love it.
Today's show is about L's. Brought to you by Mike and his L takes that he jumped in to put some silly.
Yeah, so there's my cred, Mike. How is that independent? Am I just recycling Fox News talking points? No, I'm an independent thinker.
Yeah, we're not paid by Fox or CNN. Like we're doing this to uncover what's actually happening, and it gets frustrating when we're being lied to. So okay, what we've learned is that the lying legacy media, and by the way, my chat is like disabled. It is. I think Mike came in and messed it up. I think he's a Fed boy. I think he's one of the YouTube people trying to. Anyway, that's my suspicion. I'm actually having some technical difficulties now since Mike left.
Yeah.
Interesting, pal.
Yeah.
But okay, so we've kind of learned here that the lying legacy media isn't going to cover the biggest news story of American history. This is the most corrupt administration we've ever seen. The Obama/Biden crime family syndicate that we're peeling back the layers every single day more and more. So aside from learning that the lying legacy media is going to hide it, what were the main takeaways from the Tucker talk?
Well, there's a few of them. Just knowing that, although Hunter Biden is, reasonably smart, I think he went to Yale. He wasn't there exactly for his, his business acumen. He wasn't there for his knowledge or his legal work. He was the son of the president, and he has access to powerful people, and they know people in Washington and the Biden brand, the business associates. So they were willing to compromise the country and make business deals with terrible people around the world, just so they could enrich themselves and their family and their associates, some of which are in jail. And Devon Archer was one of these guys who spoke out. So former Biden family business partner Devon Archer told House lawmakers Monday about the Ukrainian energy executives at Burisma hired Hunter Biden to develop the firm's brand and intimidate potential opponents. And those are the scripts. And that's again, that was only part one of Tucker. We'll see what else comes out of part two. But and then of course, when they were at these business meetings, at these big dinners or whatever, and he would put the big guy on the speakerphone. It wasn't just to talk about weather or just idle chit chat or what everybody's having for dinner. It was clearly talking about your business deals, and there was millions of dollars at stake. So at least 20 times that they were on calls on speakerphone. So the records indicate Joe Biden actually interacted with family business partners more than 200 times, contradicting Democrats' denials of any involvement during some of those years. So Archer said, I think at the end of the day, part of what was delivered is the brand. I'm sorry, Brian, did you drop out? I'm not sure.
I've dropped out 4 times. The page is unresponsive now. So yeah, whoever this Mike character was might have jumped in to sabotage the show. I'm going to say it. But on top of that,
unless he's a real Fed, I don't know.
No, I mean, obviously. I mean, we have handlers. I mean, we have people that are anyway.
I would assume that they just lurk and just take notes, and then they just report back to their bosses. Hey, what did those two assholes say on the show today? Whatever. So, and then hey, have YouTube take them off the algorithms, something like that. I have no idea.
So essentially, the Devon Archer. Back to that, because essentially he was just kind of reaffirming the things he had already testified to, right? No real bombshells. Just a recapitulation of what he said.
I mean, obviously it contradicts what the Democrats would have you believe, and they did not want him to even speak. So they didn't want him or Gal Luft, professor from Israel, to speak out, because it's very damning to the Biden family and the entire Democratic apparatus. So, yeah, from the media to the politicians to everybody covering for this crime syndicate. Meanwhile, they're going after Trump for everything, just whatever they can to get something to stick.
Did we want to discuss Mike Pence in his comments real quick? Because I mean, it's in the same vein of, you have Devon Archer out there trying to tell you what's going on, and you got Mike Pence, just this snake in the grass, this dirtball. And any thoughts on Pence? Maybe you're not prepared for it or have anything in the stack.
I don't have anything in front of me, but yes, he is a backstabber. He never should have been there. He was just, picked as the VP as a note on
Trump. Like he's trying to sabotage Trump, and anybody doesn't deserve to be president. Like it is so disgusting. Anybody that aligns with the disgusting orbit of a Pence, of a DeSantis, these people that have turned on Trump, what do you think they're gonna do to you or the next person? If they can do this to Trump, a man who has means and a track record of doing a lot of good things, not perfect, many mistakes. Every president has made mistakes, but maybe some of the best work that we've seen in the presidential office in American history. If they can do this to Trump, they're gonna do it to the next person. It's like, I don't get these people who are getting whispered sweet nothings or getting bribed millions and no, it's going to be totally okay. No, it will not. No, it will not. It is not going to be okay. You are toast. You're going to be toast if you don't fight this now. And they're splintering. You have the idiots on the Democrat side who say, oh, they're just talking about the weather. As dumb and as vile as the Democrats are, they at least stick together. Blake. They at least
not good either.
They back up the biggest idiots in their party every damn time. The Republicans splinter and wilt and whimper. I hate that party so much.
Yeah, well, I know, but it's been split a few times. You've got the Tea Party came out, and then to go against the neocons, and then kind of the libertarian types. So, it'd be nice to see the Democrats splinter a little bit, but maybe we will after we had the radical Bernie faction and then the crazy squad. But hopefully they return to common sense and moderate policy again with RFK Jr. So I'm hoping that kicks something off. And who is his advisor? Dennis Kucinich. So I like that style of Democrat. If they can make a comeback, that could change a lot too. So it's just been a big battle against the establishment side. So we get some populists in there, and that could change everything. And then the Trump Republicans. So it's Tea Party, Libertarian, the MAGA Trump. But then you've still got those old neocons like Pence, or the people that are funding DeSantis. Not that I think DeSantis is that bad.
Oh,
but they clearly want an alternative to Trump, and they're willing to throw money at him. But it's going to be a lost cause, it looks like.
Which in the end, that's a win for America if all that money is being wasted. But this is the time to circle the wagons and protect. You have to protect him on this. So anybody not protecting him, you're done to me politically. All right, lightning round. One more topic, 2 if we're lucky. All right, well, here we go. Gonzalo Lira, agree or disagree? He's a political prisoner that needs to be freed from Ukraine, who has just kidnapped him, detained him.
Yes, absolutely. So unfortunately, yes, there has been that development. So we were all wishing Gonzalo the best because he was facing 5 to 8 years in a work camp. He knew he was screwed. He got out on bail, and it was basically either flee to Hungary and beg for asylum or stay and die in work camp because he's got a heart condition. He's already older. I think he's 55, 60 years old. So it's sad. He maybe could have gone to Russia, but like everything's, they got landmines and all. You don't want to go through a war zone. So he was between a rock and a hard place, I guess, as they say. And he took his chances, and he was apprehended by the Ukrainian forces. So let's try to run a couple of stories here, and then I'll see if I got a little time to address some of the comments here from our leftist cult follower here, and Mike in the chat. But Gonzalo Lira tries to flee Ukraine and claim asylum, and then this it's a terrible title, but this crazy Ukrainian sergeant suggesting the SBU caught him. So here's the 25-piece thread that Gonzalo Lira threw out because he wanted to warn everybody, and he hadn't made an appearance in a while. He was basically abducted, and he's just, for what? Basically pushing propaganda, as they say. So let's, in the nature of time here, I don't have too much to get into, but he's pointing this out, and he's addressed everything, and it was even liked by Elon Musk on Twitter, which was cool because more people need to know about this because there is some bad developments with this. We want to get Gonzalo Lira back. He is a great journalist and he deserves to be the protection. And he's also a U.S. and Chilean citizen. So he needs to be pulled out. Ukraine now rearrests American blogger trying to enter Hungary for asylum. Here it is, Chilean-American blogger Gonzalo, detained by Ukrainian intelligence last May for his pro-Russian sympathies, has reportedly been rearrested as he was trying to make his way out of Ukraine. His crime, publishing YouTube videos critical of the war and the U.S. Kyiv NATO stance. This out, and thankfully there are some people, this one's at the State Department, who did call it out and ask about the whereabouts of Gonzalo Lira and whether the State Department knows about it.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's the State Department that knows about it.
Gonzalo Lira, he was the U.S. citizen arrested in Ukraine for posting dissident content online, and you told me the State Department was aware of his arrest in May. And we learned last night through a series of tweets by him that he had been tortured in the Ukrainian prison, and he was now on a motorcycle with a broken rib trying to flee to the Hungarian border. And so I'm wondering, you know, if this is true, given the State Department knew of his arrest and his detention, how has this been allowed to occur? We have a U.S. citizen being detained and perhaps tortured in the prison of one of our strongest allies.
Well, you lost me with the perhaps, and if this is true, I think I'd want to verify those reports before I commented on it. Go ahead.
Okay, well now we have verified. It is true, and we actually have a great video. We need to run a few minutes of this just so people can see Gonzalo Lira and what he has gone through. Yes. Torture and being detained, and we're giving countless billions of dollars to Ukraine, and we can't get an American citizen out. It's really disgusting. It's what's happening. So let's roll this clip from Gonzalo Lira himself and warning us. Brian, you keep cutting out, but I'm going to run this clip of Gonzalo Lira.
Perfect.
Arrested again, and God knows what will happen to me. So if I post again here on the video and on Twitter, then you know that I made it. And if I don't, then you know that I didn't. And I would ask you humbly that if you don't hear from me again, anybody and everybody who's watching this video, please raise a ruckus, raise a fuss, because ultimately, you know, as you can see in the indictment that I posted on Twitter. All of the pages are there. You can read it for yourself in Ukrainian and in English. The charges against me are just because of my opinion about this conflict. I did no harm to anyone. And they arrested me because they wanted to have on the nightly news a short little video of how they are fighting the propagandists. That's it. That's why they arrested me. The extortion stuff that I discussed, that happened later when they realized that I wasn't a poor schmuck. But the start of the genesis of this whole situation is because I had an opinion that went against the narrative. And that's why I went to prison. And that's why, if I'm arrested again, I will die in prison. So I ask you, please, as many people as possible, the American State Department knows exactly who I am and the situation I'm currently involved in. And they know the fate that awaits me. They know it. You know, they have that saying that, I forget the wording exactly. You know, I'm a little stressed out, as you can imagine, but they have that saying that people are fundamentally good, but for evil to triumph, all you need is the indifference of good people. Please don't be indifferent to my fate. I ask you this very humbly. Please recognize that, well, the literal death that awaits me if this doesn't work out. Understand what's going on.
So there we have it. And Gonzalo has emerged as one of my favorite journalists during this time. He's done some fantastic work. Obviously, it's very damaging to the narrative that the American press would like you to believe, that this is some kind of a justifiable war we got going on with Ukraine. We really shouldn't be in there or funding it. He's called a lot of that out, but they've been meddling in there for a long time. They've lied about biolabs. They've lied about the Nord Stream pipelines, about the Crimean bridge bombings, or whether they're threatening false flags, or there was a missile strike on Poland. There's all kinds of things that have not looked good for Ukraine, and they are losing a lot of people over there. So it's been a big disaster. Meanwhile, we're pumping billions of dollars into it. It looks like it's not going to happen, and all of our equipment. And and then we're going to let this guy get jailed and tortured and let him die in prison for reporting on that? No, he's entitled to his journalistic protections, and he should be brought back to either the United States or Chile, one or the other, or somewhere where he should be safe and be allowed to speak and do his thing. So it's up to him. He's begging for our help. So we're going to try to do as much as we can on our part to make sure that the public is aware of that and that we can bring him home safely.
All right. So, well, it's time to raise a ruckus on that.
I want to get into first. I want to address. I don't know if Mike, this troll's still here in the room, the cultist leftist follower here. I have not seen all the tweets, but I will just say this. Mike says Trump knew he lost the election and still tried to overturn the election. No, he didn't. We saw 6 swing states stop counting votes in the middle of the night. We never had a proper audit. None of the courts looked at any of the evidence, so that has never been presented. So no, we know that Joe Biden didn't get 81 million verified votes. I have not seen the signature matches. They dumped a bunch of late night mail-in ballots, the ballot harvesting, all kinds of things. We saw what happened with Georgia and them shutting things down, or the pipe breaking and votes under the table. I've seen enough. I've seen the vans pulling into the TCF Center in Detroit. No, so we don't know that he lost the election. I have a hard time believing Biden got 81 million verified votes. So no, that's bullshit. So, okay, so that's a conspiracy against the government? No, it's not. So that's why, Mike. I don't know where you get your news from. Okay, let's see. I don't just enjoying your laughs with your delusional take. Hey, Mike, let's find where your show is. I would be curious to see how credible you are if you do your own live stream. I'll be happy to participate. It says of giving me valid points and I'm choosing to ignore them. No, we read the indictments on here. So you came here with your tired talking points from the left, and we dismissed it. So I don't know what else he's got. Why are Republicans such delusional morons? That's really not constructive criticism. Again, we're just calling you out as the typical leftist cult follower. Nothing original, no original thoughts at all. Let's see. I don't know what else does he have. He's giving me facts on what's going on. What facts are going on here, Mike? You presented nothing. So
no, it's just vaguely throwing a plate of spaghetti up against the wall. Your facts are vague. Well, you didn't provide anything valuable. You just threw spaghetti on the wall. Blake, before you bounce, Twitter's X
Mike, you're a joke. Get in the ring. We'll have you on someday, and we'll see how. Yeah, let's see how it stands up.
It would be like you talking to that communist. Remember? When we did
Philadelphia in 2016, talking to the communist. Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, and I'll have a respectable conversation. I legitimately want to understand where you're coming from. But I mean, I've heard all these talking points already. So you presented.
Well, I mean, it's not a talking point to go, ha ha, you are 100% wrong. That's not a talking point.
Right.
That's just launching a plate of spaghetti up against the wall. But Blake, Twitter's X recommendation algorithm, just your quick thought on that, because I know you got to run.
Yeah, I've got to go soon, but I do have a little more flexibility and time here. So since we have some.
Oh, I did not know that. Okay,
I don't want to push it any farther here, Brian, because yes, I was originally going to be rescheduled, but that doesn't mean I get all that much time. I'm still trying to get to my other destination. I just have a little more flexibility. So that's good. I have a little extra time to address some of these important issues that we have today. And the last one that
if you do note, I've been trying to hurriedly speed you along.
Yeah, no, I know, because originally I thought I had to get out of here at the quarter after, but I do have a little more time.
Okay,
so
good. Because you follow this Twitter algorithm story more than I have. I'm like, I don't really have a thought on it per se. So let's dig into
this. Is just something I happened to see last night. This is Freddie Reynolds. I follow him. He's a financial guy on the crypto Twitter, which has been very exciting lately. And I saw this post, so I'm bringing it over. I don't know if this is 100% accurate or not, but it certainly would explain something, because we've all kind of wondering how the algorithm actually works. So what he's saying is that one mute cancels out the impact of 148 likes. So that's how they weigh these things. So more people should think of muting as not only something to clean your own feed, but as the 148 times negative dislike button. So I haven't really muted or blocked anybody on my political Twitter, on my main channel, on my TV's Blake Walley. I welcome criticism, what have you, as long as it's not annoying or whatever. But the on Twitter, on the crypto side of Twitter, there are a lot of like spam accounts that just clog feeds on certain things. So I've muted a few accounts. But I have no idea, which, it's probably helping the algorithm in that sense. But if somebody mutes you, that's pretty serious, the way that it weighs against you. So if you have to have outweighs 148 likes. So, what can you really post? If you're on, outspoken politically, how are you supposed to get anywhere with this algorithm, the way that it's weighted like this? So when people report,
and that's the opposite of that's the opposite of an open and robust conversation,
right?
This Mike guy coming in just hurling insults. If you're going to hurl information and I dispute that, or Devon Archer himself said in this interview, if you're going to post things that are relevant, we welcome that stuff. Just coming in to toss names around and derogatory crap. Yeah, that is kind of valid for I don't need to see that. It's clogging the feed like a spam account. But on Twitter, it's the Wild West of conversation. You're supposed to have. I thought it was encouraging these interactions.
Yeah, you would think, and we know I've seen a lot of heavy-handed censorship lately, especially like Dr. Brooks Agnew. Gonzalo Lira has been taken down a couple of times. We've seen other prominent, there's a Don Luker. Not too many to name, and he's just even personal friends of mine. Larry is one. There's a few other ones, and David Lopan. But there's, we don't know exactly how the algorithms are affecting people. But apparently, so if somebody likes your tweet, you get a score of 0.5. If they retweet it, you get a 1. If they click into your tweet and reply or something, or stay there for a little time, you get actually 11 points. They look at your profile and you get 12. Reply 27. If you engage back, it's 75. But if somebody says show less often or blocks or mutes you, you get a minus 74. And if they report your tweet, you get minus 369. So I know I haven't blocked anybody, but I know I've probably been blocked at least a few hundred times. So that's probably why I'm not, getting seen in some of these algorithms. But I don't know if this is, 100%. But this is interesting that this was put out because people are curious, and we should know how these are ranked. But what's to stop angry leftists from just, spam blocking and muting people and destroying people's, your way to be seen on the algorithms. So it seems very heavy-handed and unfair. Otherwise, I got to be just post pictures of, puppies and kittens. Yeah, maybe that'll be that. That won't offend anybody, and they won't be muted as long as you don't put too much stuff out. So yeah, it's not fair. So this is a website that he got it from, github.com. So I'm not exactly sure if this is the model or if this was a previous one or if this is in use, but it certainly would explain some things, perhaps. So I don't know how it all works, but we should know.
One of Elon's big proposals was to make this, wasn't it all about making it all open source so that everybody could kind of see under the hood what's making so you could read the rule book of the NFL so you know how to play the game. Like you said, like the way you read that out, I'm like, this is just a video game, right? It's just, you get so many points for jumping up here. You get so many points for shooting a turtle shell. You get so many points if you fall into the lava taken away. And it's I thought that was supposed to be all open source. We're going to show you what the mathematical equation is. I thought that was part of his pitch.
No, I was excited about that because I want to know what's in my file, what's been, what comments have been written on the back end from, Twitter employees. So if Mike is in there and, he doesn't like me, then he's writing notes or taking me down. I want to know what's happening and if it's justified. I have put out some terrible tweets. I've trolled, but I've trolled some really bad people. So I've said some really nasty things to John Podesta, for example. But how does that affect my score? As far as where do we draw the line between the freedom of speech and I'm calling out a political opponent? Part of the reason I'm angry because I've gotten involved in the media. I didn't want to ever have to do this. I recognize it. I've been following the news long enough to know I'm being lied to, and I want to call out liars on Twitter. It makes me angry that they're enriching themselves by spreading misinformation, disinformation. I'm trying to tell the truth. I get frustrated with some of these people, and I want to make an example of them. And then who knows? And I'm getting punished for it. So I don't think that should affect the scores. Or if say if people are really sensitive and they're blocking too many people, maybe the weight should be taken out of those blocks because this is clearly a snowflake, as Mike says.
As Mike says, yes. This is gonna be fun. Don't be a Mike.
Yeah,
that'll be our new thing. Don't be a Mike.
Yeah, think for yourself. Have original thoughts. Otherwise, you're just parroting propaganda. So. Anyway.
Yes, parroting propaganda. Any other thoughts on this Twitter thing, Blake?
I can't quite confirm it, but I know there's something shady about it. I want to embrace the new platform, but until I have a better idea of how it works and how it's being judged and if it's being played fairly, I'm still going to have my doubts. I'm still skeptical, and I want to see some of these people brought back. It's been nice to see some of the guys that have been, banned for years making their comeback. but they're still heavy-handed. Like, how did Dr. Brooks go down with Don Luker? So do I want to hand over all my financial information? Do I want everything? Do I want the Everything app to have all that access to information and then just shut me down because some crazed leftist, didn't like what I was saying? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. Jocelyn says, consider experimenting by scheduling and posting tweets at different times throughout the day for a month using a tool like Social Pilot. This can help you identify who are liars and gaslighters.
Yeah, we definitely have to get into some more of these like AI or programs so that we can put out more stuff. Or the Tweet Deck, I think that's another one. I'm not sure if they're going to change some of them because of now it's X, how they've changed it. But certainly to be a little bit more prolific. But I want to make sure that I'm playing on an even field. And why am I paying for the blue check mark? And why, if I'm going to pay for the extra other subscription, the blue or whatever they're calling it now, or putting subscriptions out, I want to make sure that I know what's going on my file, or maybe I can clean some things up. I'm willing to work with them, and I'm willing to be transparent about it. I'm willing to apologize if I'm wrong on stuff. I do get things wrong sometimes, or what have you. But this needs to be an open and transparent process.
But that's the messy result of a First Amendment. And it's beautiful. It's a beautiful mess of conversation.
Yeah, that's what it is. But as long as it's civil discourse within bounds, there's a way to make these algorithms work for everybody, I think.
Well, they're clearly trying to make their money. Jocelyn was suggesting that if you don't pay your $8, you're not going to be seen anyway. That's plus 11, and yeah, I mean, I'm
still hidden anyway. I can't even troll anymore. I have to do the quote retweet. Otherwise, it won't be seen. Most people will you'll have to click see more responses or what have you on the very bottom. So
is it just time to create
because the blue check mark.
Time to create a new Twitter profile?
I've got another Twitter profile. That's how I know that I can't see.
I mean, a third.
Oh, a third. I don't know. We should do it. We should do a third one for the show or something, so we can post some of these questions.
Well, we will. I promise we will do one for the Agree to Disagree show. It'll be a standalone, separate account. But I mean, a third individual Blake Walley account. Something starting from scratch. Looking at the algorithm, seeing how to play the game of Mario. Yeah. How do you score the coins, and how do you avoid getting stomped by a Koopa?
I've already put too much time already into the Blake Walley account. I just want to know, what do I need to do to
here's what I'm saying. I've already traveled down the wrong path this long. I need to keep going down the wrong path. It's never too early to get off of the wrong path. And if your account is compromised, and if it's shadow banned, if it's hidden, if it's deranked, if it's deboosted, if it's all of those things which you claim and suspect, and let's just say that it is, set it there, start a third one, and just start from scratch, fresh, and see if you can get different results with that. And then if you're able to figure out the algorithm, you can go back to account 2 or 1 and try to make sense of that and boost it again. But in the meantime, maybe you could have a third version of you trying under the new terms to kind of stay in line.
Well, my second account is predominantly crypto stuff and like cat pictures and stuff. So I don't think it's just kind of a joke, account. It's a shit posting account, but I don't do heavy political stuff. So there's no reason for that one to be under scrutiny. But it's not that I'm trying to build anything there. It's just a different method, because sometimes it's easier just to be incognito on certain affairs. But this is my main account, TV's Blake Walley. And speaking of that, that's probably my cue to go. So yes, please follow me at TV's Blake Walley on Twitter. And of course, the archive will be at thenextlevelnews.com with this show and anything else I have time to post there. But yes, but it's been delightful, and we'll have to do it again next week, next Tuesday and Thursday.
Absolutely. Blake, I do suspect, though, that you're just trying to run out of here before we talk about Lizzo showing interest in the banana sex show.
5 minutes. 5 minutes. What do we got? I know that this was a
Liz is from
bizarre
TMZ.
thing. I didn't even think it was real, but yes, let's hear it. Hit it.
All right. So according to TMZ, Lizzo kept an eye on the famed banana sex show in Amsterdam for years, sharing her desires way before being sued for allegedly pressuring backup dancers to get in on the act. All right. So here's the deal. Lizzo talked about wanting to go to a specific live sex show in the city's infamous red light district during a 2019 interview with an Amsterdam radio station. The same show she's now being sued over. In her interview with 3FM DJ Frank van der Lende, Lizzo reveals her love for live sex shows in Amsterdam, and she asks the hosts about the banana sex show where patrons eat bananas out of the sex performers' vaginas. Vagina. We need to cut to Trump saying vagina. Lizzo excitedly talks about her desire to find out where the banana show happens, explaining, "That's what I want to do. I need my potassium, if you know what I'm saying. My puss-tassium." So here you go. This is called the what is this? Bananen Bar? Bananen Bar in Amsterdam. Radio host tells Lizzo the place she's looking for, Bananen Bar, venue mentioned several times in the lawsuit she's now facing. Being sued now, Lizzo is, by 3 of her former backup dancers who say they were sexually denigrated by Lizzo while on the job. The suit claims the dancers, during a February 2023 tour stop in Amsterdam, Lizzo took them to Bananen Bar and pressured them to interact with the sex performers. The dancers claim Lizzo began inviting cast members to take turns touching the nude performers, catching dildos launched from the performers' vaginas, and eating bananas that were protruding from the performers' vaginas. It's unclear if the alleged incident was Lizzo's first time at Bananen Bar, but she's clearly had the show on her mind since 2019. Blake, there it is. That's happening. That's a thing that's happening in the world.
It's a degenerate world. Yeah, the culture's failing. Yeah, she's what was her big song again? I swear I saw her perform a couple of times when I was out in LA at private parties.
You saw her performing at multiple private parties?
Because I worked one of the Grammy parties, and I swear she was in one of the she did her own private performance. And it was it was some vulgar song, what have you.
Ready. It's About Damn Time. Yeah. I'm gonna read some songs. About Damn Time, To Be Loved, Juice, Boys, Rumors, Truth Hurts, Good as Hell. That's one. Yeah. So it was About Damn Time. I don't know. I mean, okay. That's all I got.
No, it's wild. I mean, what do I expect out of this degenerate Hollywood culture? That's sad, but I guess it's okay in Amsterdam. I don't know what she was thinking.
I mean, she's promoting banana positivity. She's promoting banana positivity.
Yeah, there you go. So, Brian, yeah, what was your take on that, Brian? What do you think?
I think I just said it. I'm still just laughing. I'm just still beside myself. I'm just having a hard time trying to make sense of this world. It's I'm trying to pinpoint, actually, and we've been having this debate in various groups, maybe in the Agree to Disagree private group in Facebook. Did we enter a parallel dimension, and when was it? We're talking about CERN.
Yeah, there you go. CERN. So they opened a portal to hell or something, and we're on this weird timeline. It's like Back to the Future 2. We're on the Biff takes over the city. He's the casino owner.
Okay, so I mean, you're open to the concept that we've entered some weird portal and we are in a parallel bizarro world at this point.
Yeah, it's absolutely possible. Why not? So I don't know. I don't know. There'd have to be other parallel worlds we would see where things were different, and they'd be like, "Oh my God, I can't believe how weird your world is."
They have flying cars in your world?
Yeah, like everything.
Hillary and Obama and Biden all got locked up in your world? The Cleveland Indians are still the Cleveland Indians, and they won a World Series in 95, 97, and in 06? That's awesome. In 2016? Because we have 0 of those. Yeah. Jocelyn, it's not appropriate boss behavior. Yeah, okay, not okay. Yeah,
that's that's a little over the top and above and beyond. It is a hostile work environment, absolutely. I can't imagine your boss trying to pressure cast members. It's something. It's uncomfortable. She's clearly not. She clearly has limited boundaries. But she's got to respect the other people. But it just could be some more, toxic narcissism that is quite pervasive in the entertainment world. So,
Kenneth B's responding to the question. Kenneth B's responding to the question about when we went into the bizarre world. He's not certain about it. He's not quite certain about it. I love these little word plays. Yeah, it's fantastic. I guess the point of that story, Blake, was just I heard it. And I needed to ruin your day by making you hear it and think about it. That's
I heard about it, but it was so off. I thought it was just like made up or something because it's some of those things I see it on my news feed and I'm just I can't even. No, it's got to be fake or something. And then at some point it picks up. It's true, and then we got to cover it. But no, I like these kind of stories. We have to cover the the more bizarre, the better, I guess. I just want to make sure it's confirmed before I start pushing crazy rumors.
Well, but I mean, we could report that TMZ is reporting. Like that's not us. None of what we do is stating. I mean, rarely are we. Look, we're reporting what other people.
Not the real raw news, rabbit holes or anything. Yeah.
So I think we should make an effort though to try to add a couple zany stories for like
that's always welcome. Good job, Brian. I'm glad you brought that up. No, we like that.
Okay. Well, that's kind of all I had on the plate. Oh, I just had one more. I know you got to go. So this is the time you want to remind people where to find you.
TV's Blake Walley, and then on Twitter, and of course thenextlevelnews.com for the archive. So it's great to see everybody, and Dreamer and Kenneth and Jocelyn and I miss Frankie and so many, and even Mike and Timothy. It's been delightful. We're looking forward. And Big Dave, we missed a lot of people. Sorry, we've been off screen. It's been a very eventful show, and we'll see what happens.
It really has been, but I think we leveled up today. You get your first troll, you get your first hater. We've
been a while. Yeah,
I think we have some of the best regular viewers that, a lot of you that we mentioned. We try to read as many of your chats as possible. Like you are a part of this show. Trump says they're not coming after me. They're coming after you. I'm just in the way. It's like, this isn't our show. It's the show. And this engagement, playing tennis back and forth. We're not saying don't be a Mike as in don't disagree with us. That's ridiculous. Please disagree, but make a point worth making. LOL, you're dumb. LOL, moron. Like these are not. Don't be a Mike. Don't be a Mike. Put points out there. Yeah. Make come if you're going to step into the ring. Have something to add. So that's my point to all of the haters, the trolls, and the fools, and the misguided that have been brainwashed over these years. You gotta. Kenneth B's asking if Blake's going to get a haircut. I just had to say it because you said we're participating, Blake. How we? Look at that. That's funny.
I will probably do it at some point next year, maybe at the end. Because next year is going to be a big political. Well, it's going to be an election year. Brian, I don't know if we're probably going to do a few road trips, maybe try to test out some of these political events, and might be. I'll clean it up. It was a nice run, so I like rocking the long hair for a couple years. It was a phase. And it's probably a few more months, and then I will snip it for next year. It's been so easy, too. It's just let it rock. When I have short hair, I got to make a haircut every 6 weeks. I've got to use product. And, I don't know, maybe 2 months. It grows fast, and then you got to use all the, the gels and conditioners and products, and it's a lot more maintenance. So, but there's pros and cons. But anyway,
I think I went 2 months between my last haircut, but I just got one a week or two ago, and man, you blink and then it's all out of control, and you're like, oh, I got to snap out of this. Nothing will make you feel better than getting a nice, crisp, clean haircut. Even if Blake is just to get in, get the split ends and get a good shampoo and conditioning and trim up the neckline and maybe take care of the caterpillars on the eyebrows. Like my mom was a cosmetologist. So up until I went to college, actually, no, I drove back 2 hours every time to get a haircut from college. Until I moved to Los Angeles, my mom was really the only person that ever cut my hair. We had one of those chairs in the basement. You'd stomp the thing and it would raise the seat up. And so like there's a whole setup in the basement. Yeah. The barber, the whole setup.
Yeah, those are nice. Yeah.
Pretty rad, actually. But yeah. Anyhow. All right, Blake, tell people one more time where to follow you.
TV's Blake Walley, thenextlevelnews.com. Thank you, everybody.
Excellent.
Looking forward to next time.
The last thing I was going to say, just relevant or not, NFL kicks off tonight with the Pro Bowl game. What do they call it? The Hall of Fame game.
Yeah.
The Hall of Fame game. And Joe Thomas, who has like the Cal Ripken streak of starting without being pulled for whatever, it's started games. He is the Iron Man of Iron Men. He's inducted in the Hall of Fame this year, the left tackle during all those horrible Cleveland Browns years. Joe Thomas was a legend, now broadcast man. So he's going to get some attention at this, but it's going to be Aaron Rodgers on the Jets versus Deshaun Watson on the Browns. It's going to be an awesome matchup. I'm a super Cleveland Browns fan. I'm very much looking forward to it. Welcome back football, everybody. So I'm super excited for that. And I hope you are too, because whatever. But Frankie says no 100%. Haircut. Frankie says no haircut for you, Blake, just so you know.
All right. Yeah. It's going to be a divided issue.
My ex-father-in-law, he went bald and he said, if I would have known that I was going to go bald, I would have grown my hair down to my ass. I always remember that quote. I still laugh at it, but I don't know, Blake. It looks like you're going to have hair for a while. Good for you.
Should be all right. Yeah. I'll grow it out again, but I'm getting a little bit of the gray, so might be time to snip, but a few more months.
All right, buddy.
Peace,
well, you have a great rest of your day, sir.
You guys too. All right. I'm out. Goodbye, everybody.
All right. So Blake's going to leave. I'll just make sure I checked out your comments here. Timothy Hanlon talking with Jocelyn. So you're saying people in VV. Now, if you don't know, now you know. That's the Verde Valley. In the Verde Valley, you're worth before the Verde River is mentioned in the Pussifer song. About the Verde River in the Verde Valley. She's saying people in VV are really wonderful. If you're around this weekend, my daughter's art show opens in Jerome on Saturday. That's awesome. Jocelyn, cool stuff. Kenneth saying mullet. Yes, I think we need a mullet for Blake. Before he goes and cuts it, I think we need to get him a Theo Von phase. Everybody needs a Theo Von phase. Mine was probably like in 5th grade. I had a rat tail. I tried all sorts of, I shaved my head. I grew it down to my shoulders. I dyed it purple. I put steps on the sides of it. I had this little flip thing that I did forever. And it was like this flip up front. I don't know. Now I just kind of mess it up a little bit and off to this side. It used to be that. So, I don't know. You gotta, koi fit if you got it. Ooh, would that make good merch? Koi fit if you've got it. What does coif even mean? Am I using that word properly? A woman's close-fitting cap. No. Oh, yeah. To style or arrange someone's hair. Typically in an elaborate way. Her elaborately coiffed hair. COIF. Damn, that's a $1 million word right there. Thanks for pulling that out of me. I didn't know I was going to drop a coif reference. You might head to Sedona for dinner. Oh, Sedona's cool. Stayed at an Airbnb there while, or a bed and breakfast rather, hang on, let me think. No, I remember the hotel that I stayed at on the river in Sedona, which was cool. But I remember we went to Jerome, Arizona. It's about 12,000 miles straight up in an old copper mining town, once voted America's wickedest city. Now it's it's an artsy fartsy kind of town, but Maynard James Keenan from the band Tool, Percifer and Perfect Circle. He resides there, I believe, and he has his Caduceus Vineyards there. And what is it, Strong Arm or Strongbow or something? He's got his whole empire up there. He's got a bar and he's got a store and a restaurant and the winery and all that. So it is a neat spot. But I remember staying at a bed and breakfast in Jerome overlooking Sedona as Sedona burned. There was some wildfire activity at the time. It's an excellent area. I love that whole region. It's just, I don't know, it's just neat. What else here? We're in Jerome. It's a small. Oh yeah, we're in Jerome. It's a small town. So here, let's give her some love. Go support the art show of Jocelyn's mini Jocelyn, the Jerome Artists. That's such a hard word to say. Artists Cooperative Gallery. The Jerome Artists Cooperative Gallery. I don't know if I've told you before, but I once went on a quest in Jerome, Arizona. The person who was cutting my hair quasi consistently in where was I at? On Melrose, at Floyd's. Where was that? I guess it was Hollywood. I think it was Hollywood. She told me a story about, we got to talking music, and I'm a big Tool fan, and she said she was as well. She told me about this town called Jerome. It wasn't on my radar. She told me everything about it that I just told you. And she said, yeah, I just, I was gifted from my ex-boyfriend. He's deceased. He passed away, but we had gone, and he got me a shark tooth necklace, and I loved that necklace. And I used to wear it every day, and just, I lost it. I don't know if I lost it in my bed. I don't know if I lost it out on a hike. I don't know if it came undone. I don't know where it went or how it left. And I blah, blah, blah. And so I was like, Jerome sounds interesting. I feel like going. And it was part of the Sedona / Jerome experience, one and the same, essentially. And it's like, yeah, let's do a day in Sedona. Let's go over to Jerome and drink some wine and this and that. And yeah, I made it my personal quest. It was like a little side quest in one of your video games, whether it's Zelda or, pick your favorite video game with a side quest, maybe Fallout. And that's what it was. I decided I was going to go up there and search for a shark tooth necklace. And I think there were a couple of rock shops actually that were selling shark tooth necklaces, because Arizona used to be the bottom of the sea. So there's a Tool song, Anima, Learn to Swim, See You Down in Arizona Bay. It's kind of based on a skit from Hicks, Bill Hicks. But yeah, I mean, when the Earth's axis shifts and the water sloshes in the pool, yeah, I mean, it's very likely, it's possible, it's understood that land will become water and water will become land, and things will shift and change. That on a fairly regular, consistent cycle, a geological cycle, if you go back and you look at the strata, you look at the kind of different delineations of time periods and sediment that had formed, you can kind of carbon date it and work your way back and figure out that different things had been in this area. So, as weird as it is to say that shark teeth are all over the Jerome, Arizona area, 12,000 feet above sea level. Now, maybe it's, at the bottom of that peak, but yeah, they had several rock shops. So I went into to many locations, but then I eventually found the shark tooth necklace, and I think I got her 3 of them. So the next time I don't know, I was just in a mood. I was having I don't know, like the story meant something, and I just kind of filed it away and kept it to myself. And then I came back for a haircut, and when we were done, I said, look, I got good news and bad news. I said, the bad news is, I appreciate you, and I always tip, I do, I tip well. But I'm not going to be able to I'm not going to tip you money today. And she was like, huh. I mean, okay. And I said, well, but on the other side, I got you something. So I'm going to trade you. Oh, and I spent way more. What would I normally tip? $5-10? I don't know. Maybe me saying I tip well. But yeah, you could do 20% and above. And the haircuts are, pretty cheap there, $20 or something. So I tip, anything 5 and above is over your 20%. But yeah, I showed her. I got her 2 regular size ones and an extra large one, because I didn't know what size it was. I'm like, I'm just gonna guess. I said, so here. Oh, she got emotional. She was it was I have a hunch she may have told that story to other people, and I just think that was cool. It was a fun side quest for me, and it kind of, if only temporarily, it changed her day and perspective, and just sentimentality. I think was pretty cool with that. But yeah, I said, here's a big one in case you liked the big one, if that's what you had. Here's a smaller one in case it was a smaller one. And here's a third smaller one. So you can wear the big one, wear the little one. But this third one, you have to keep in your jewelry box, and you're not allowed to wear it. You can never lose it just never again. So these two are to wear, and this one is so you always have a backup. I live in Louisville, Kentucky now, and please screenshot that. Tell me I'm taking my L's for Lizzo, for Louisville. But when it comes to bourbon, I like to collect bourbon. I like to trade bourbon. I like to sample different bourbons and gift bourbon. I like gifting bourbon. It's a neat currency. Bourbon is actually the only native United States spirit completely crafted in the United States. Now, whiskey is well, let me say this right. A bourbon is a whiskey, but only bourbons are made the way that bourbons are made. Not all whiskeys are bourbons. There's specific protocols. You have to store it for a specific amount of time in a brand new charred, like a virgin white oak barrel. There's specific protocols. There's a couple regarding the proof. How strong can it be? And it has to be corn. It has to be above a specific percentage of corn, and then you could kind of fiddle with it, but you can't go past a certain percentage. So it's very, very prim and proper. But the reason I bring that up is because I kind of have this thing with bourbon. It's hard to find the ones. It's hard to find certain brands of bourbon, which is what makes the collecting of bourbon so interesting. But it's hard to replenish. There's things like Weller, Eagle Rare, Blanton's, a lot of the Buffalo Trace brands, they're allocated. So they're rationed and they go out, and it's just, you got to be there on the right day at the right time. You have to know somebody. You got to talk to the manager and find out what day they're stocked on the shelf so you can get there at 7 a.m. and buy a couple bottles. Otherwise, you're going to have to pay double or triple on the secondary market. And it's like, I like that bourbon. I don't love it for double the price. Anyway, it's a whole thing, but I don't like cracking a fresh bottle unless I have a second full bottle behind it. So I don't want to sip on the Eagle Rare because I don't know the next time I'm going to have it. But if I get a second bottle of it, I'm like, oh, okay, now I can have some of this. Now I can enjoy it. Otherwise, it's like, oh, I'm only a couple sips away from finishing this bottle. I don't want to finish it, because one of my favorite things in life is to have people over. Blake's been over, Ford's been a lot of people, a lot of guests. But I have my bar, my home bar, and there's an infinity bottle. Cool thing about the infinity bottle, it's a glass decanter. And so every time you finish a bottle, you pour one shot and you put it into the decanter, the glass decanter. That becomes an infinity bottle. And it just kind of keeps mixing with what's already in there. And it never runs out, and it will always take on a different complexity. And I'm telling you, something about this process makes it smooth and really tasty. But yeah, the infinity bottle, it's a cool concept. It's a really neat concept. I encourage you to do if you're connoisseurs of the bourbon yourself. But yeah, it's always tough finishing a bottle, but I love the experience of someone coming to the bar like Blake, for example, and point to a bottle. Let's go. And to sit there and sample it, to talk about it, and if we get to finish one, give them they get to pour the 1 ounce into the infinity bottle, and it's a whole neat ride. It's really fun. So I really enjoy that. I also like the vineyards of Maynard James Keenan and the process. He did an awesome documentary, Jocelyn and everybody else. If you haven't watched it, it's called Blood into Wine. Check it out. Watch it. It's a neat documentary. Maynard's a very interesting man, very driven, very capable, very qualified, he's a creator. If you were to give me, and here's my question of the day. I know Spotify always asks if I have a question of the day, and I always forget to, but here's a question of the day. We'll see if I remember in time to put it in the show notes when they ask me again. But if you were stranded on a desert island, you love this question, this premise, it's from antiquity, a question as old as time. If you were stranded on a desert island and you could only take the catalog of one musical artist with you, who would you take? Desert island, rest of your life, the entire catalog of a musician. Who would you take? I love this question, and I love the answers. And why? From that artist, like what's your favorite, what are your favorite works from that artist? My answer And type your question in here real quick. Rest of your life, you can only listen to one musician. Their entire catalog of work, who do you pick and why? I would go with Maynard James Keenan. Number one, we get 3 bands: Pussifer, A Perfect Circle, and Tool. I love, and Jocelyn, if you're not familiar, I don't remember if we've talked about this, but if you're not familiar with Pussifer, get the album Conditions of My Parole. And it's very Verde Valley. It's almost like a modern take on a, how do I say this? It's Conditions of My Parole by Pussifer is reminiscent of a modern reinterpretation of an audible spaghetti western. And I mean, you have haunting songs. Dust Devil Swept You Away. It's Still Not Real. Ash and Urn and Silence. Talk to Me. My Recollection Is All That's Left of You. And a Swirling, Swaying About Me. Dust Devil Swept You Away. It's just this beautiful song of taking ashes out to the desert. And I mean, it just, this whole album puts you into the Verde Valley. He sings about the Verde River. It's just awesome. I encourage everyone to check it out. I couldn't be a bigger fan than I am. So anyway, that's my recommendation for the day. Let me scroll down and see if any of you told me the question of the day. Desert Island, which musical artist do you pick? That's all you get to listen to for the rest of your life. Choose wisely, but type it below. I want to read it real quick. Kenneth B saying, hair today, gone tomorrow. Yes, well done. What's this say? Oh, okay. Tim's asking, where should I chill for dinner? Now, I will say, Timothy, if you're going to be going there for dinner, and that's awesome. Like, I don't know. Do you guys know each other? Or are you just meeting each other through this group? That's awesome if you're just meeting through this group. And it's also awesome if you know each other already. But if you're just meeting and going there just because we came together on the Agree to Disagree show, super rad. That makes me smile. I will say that I went to a place in Arizona after leaving Jerome. I don't remember how far away it was. I'm going to look this up right now just for you. The place was called... There we go. Found it. Okay, you can reserve it. This place is still open. Yes. I'm going to show you what this is. Since you're looking for recommended... Now, I don't know how far away. Maybe you could tell me how far away this is. It's a place called Congress. I think that's what's it. Congress, Arizona. That's awesome, since we were talking about Congress and their ineptitude today. This restaurant was so good. Nichols West. It's in Congress, Arizona. So I guess here, let me hang on. Map. Wait, what is it? Google Maps? Here we go. I want to see how far away Congress is, because I'm going to tell you about the best salad I ever had. It was beet and avocado with candied walnuts. Oh my God. It was one of the best things I've ever eaten my entire life. Here, with the directions. Let's see how far Congress away is. Congress is away. Congress, Arizona to Jerome, Arizona. Okay, well, if you're 2 hours away, it's an hour and 48 minutes southwest via Route 89, it's saying. So you go past Prescott, and you can't say Prescott, it's Prescott, apparently. That's what they tell me. Down to Peoples Valley, and then you end in Congress. It's an hour, 49 minutes away, 82 miles. So, I mean, it's a scenic drive. But it's a very unassuming restaurant. Nichols West. Am I still on this page? Right there. Unassuming. Goodness, that salad. Beets and avocado with candied walnuts. Man, it was so good. One of the best things I've ever eaten. Hands down. Yeah, Merkin. Sorry, I yelled that. If you know what a Merkin is, it's ridiculous that I'm yelling about Merkins. Maybe the Merkin story could go into the Lizzo story. There's a nice parallel there. Merkin Vineyards. Yes. Well, yeah, Merkin. So do you know what a Merkin is? Type it in the comments if you know, because that's kind of interesting. Let's see. Okay, your daughter's a waitress. Where did you say? Jocelyn at what's it called? Oh, I didn't see that comment. Wait, she's a server at the Jerome Artist Cooperative Gallery. Is that a restaurant too? Okay, so you're gonna post it in the Verde Valley Facebook chat. Okay, Bella Vita next to the Pines. Oh, the Pines. Is that the big one on the hill? It used to be an insane asylum or something like that. Restaurants are better in Cottonwood, not so overpriced. Yeah, I mean, it's a artsy fartsy kind of town. It is pretty overpriced. It is what it is. Oh boy, look at this. This is fantastical, if not cryptic. Ask her if she knows a man with a notebook. Don't we all? Okay, so you're going into the place with a notebook. I want to draw you. Jerome, if you want to. Jerome, if you want to. Jerome around the world. Oh, here's a... Okay, so that's pretty cool. That's funny. Jerome, if you want to. Kenneth, I wonder how your brain works. Like, all day are you doing this? Is it like... Have you seen 8 Mile? And it's like he's always writing, he's always writing, he's always writing and rhyming and rhyming and writing and rhyming. And it never stops. There's somebody on YouTube goes by the name Lil Little, like Lil Windex. White dude, looks like Eminem, raps like Eminem, and he writes some incredible rhymes with cool cadences. And it's just, he does these skits. But I guess kind of reading the comments, like, this guy, he does his own thing, but he did this series about what it's like a day in the life of Eminem. And it's like everyone around is like, shut the hell up. And he's rhyming and styling and trying and it's like, oh my God, stop. It's just because like it just kind of consumes him. But yeah, your jokes are funny. I love them. Okay. You're on your way to Verde Valley. Oh, you're new to the Verde Valley. Okay, so yeah, you do live there. Now I understand. Oh, that's cool. Used to be. I used to be a paranormal tour guide. One kid on my tour found a shark's tooth near the trailhead to Boynton Canyon. Yes. Thank you for validating. That's awesome. Spirit of Saint Hangover. Do you still do tours? Oh, she's retired, but she can point you in the right direction. Okay, great question. Have I ever made my own bourbon? I have made... Now, my brother was... rest in peace. My brother was a sommelier. So he had like the sniffer and the knowledge and the hands-on experience. I know he had made some wine. I think he made a Zinfandel at home. It's a whole process, as you know. Now, what I had done prior to my brother making that wine, I brewed beer. And I still have the kit. I just got to bring it out, clean it up. I got to set it up somewhere. I would love to get that going again and brew my own beer. It was great. I loved it. Different varieties. I think I made a blueberry ale. Good. But yeah, so I would need charred oak. I would need to distill corn, maybe a little bit of rye, maybe a little bit of wheated if I want to go wheated bourbon. Now I was gifted an awesome gift. It's this bourbon barrel, and you get to pour a neutral spirit in there, like a vodka or like a Everclear or something like that. And then it is a charred bourbon barrel stave, and it absorbs the flavors and it brings it out. And now it's a pseudo way of making bourbon. It's not quite the way to do it, but it was an awesome gift, and I did do it. And thanks for the reminder. Maybe I will set it up, pour another bottle in, then you got to let it age, and then you have to rotate it, and then you got to taste it and see when it's matured. So I might actually do that again. Thanks for the reminder. Actually, I've been spending a lot of time building my garden and trying to get ready for the coming struggle. So I want food production and water harvesting, and just trying to be ready for anything. That's what is that? Scout's honor? Is that how you did that? You a Boy Scout? I don't even remember. But yeah, always be prepared. So no, I have not made my own bourbon, but I am so open to it. Let's see. Buyer's remorse, alien tech, yes. Whine into troll. Yeah, we had a troll that was whining a little bit today earlier. Jocelyn, I was at Red Wall Distillery in Sedona. They make their own small batches, really good. Yeah, and I've seen some really cool stuff too, where they'll put, they get a glass jar and they'll add fresh peach slices with rosemary. They'll add their favorite bourbon and they'll let it sit for X amount of time and it infuses in there. Now, once you add flavoring to a bourbon, it is no longer bourbon. It's a flavored whiskey. Bourbon has to be just the key ingredients. This percent of corn, you can add a couple of these things, these other grains, but no flavors, none of that. But yeah, I would try a small batch bourbon for sure. All right, Jocelyn saying that looks awesome. Blank and Jones, okay. That sounds awesome, Brian. I'll look for it. Please do. Verde Valley, Verde A. Everything is frequency and vibration. Yeah. What is Verde A? What is that? You said that twice. Verde A. 432.081 hertz. Verde A. Okay, here we go. Now we're getting to the comments section. This is what I was waiting for. Thank you. Jocelyn says, if she had to pick an artist on the desert island, who would she go with? The rest of her life, only one artist. Cream. Cream's cool. Cream's neat. Cream's good. Tim's buying land in the Verde Valley. Good. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll go out to the desert. Blank and Jones are satin jackets. All right. Okay. Prices are high, but expected to fall as interest rates, right? Yeah. Damn interest rates. Damn interest rates. Congress. Emphasis on the word con. C-O-N. Thanks, Kenneth. And Jocelyn adds, oh, she's eaten there, Brian, but it's been a while. Similar in Sedona would be the Hudson. Okay, cool. I know, now I'm very hungry too. I can't wait to wrap up the show and make some grub. I made way too much rice several days ago. So literally every meal, maybe not every meal, but every day I'm eating usually more than one serving of rice with something. I put some tomato and red pepper, roasted red pepper soup. And then I added some chicken to that, salt, pepper, basil, oregano, maybe sofrito blend. I do love cooking a lot. My figs are coming in. I can't wait to do something with the figs. Yeah, now I'm very hungry. You grow beets. Yeah, I grew a little bit of beets and my neighbor took them. It was like I was watching them, raising them, watching them, rooting for them, put a garden in. I was so excited. And I was like, all right, I'm going to harvest those the next day. I went back and the neighbor, Lorenzo, harvested them. I was like, you got to be kidding me, man. Oh, okay. There you go, Jocelyn. That's awesome. Her daughter works at Merkin part-time when she's not in studio. That is so cool. S&M, that was a Metallica album. It's not a band. Buying land in this region is my calling. Yeah, I will say there is a bit of a siren song that will take you out to the desert. Yeah, siren song. You got to be careful with it. But I would also recommend to you both, if you feel like taking a road trip, I know it's not next door, but to go out to Taos, New Mexico, to go to the Greater World Earthship Community. I moved into that thing for a while. I do have a full-length documentary that I've been meaning to edit together. God, I really need to finish that project. But yeah, it's 640 acres in Taos, New Mexico of experimental, off-the-grid, self-sufficient housing, geothermal, capture the water off your roof, treat your water 4 different times, use it inside to water your greenhouse. The gray water's pumped into your toilet. Then it filters again and it goes out to a leach field where you can plant trees and shrubs and bushes and stuff that the roots go down and use that water and break it down. And in the middle of a desert, we'll give you a lush forest if you want to kind of set it up that way. It's just beautiful. Something about the American Southwest is a spiritual place. We're overlooking the Sangre de Cristos Mountains. That's blood of Christ. And yeah, I saw a vehicle. I saw a flying object that I could not identify. I mean, that thing was motoring over the Sangre de Cristos Mountains and over me, and just, I mean, it was, I heard it, I saw it, it was over me, and it was gone. I mean, I had nothing but vast space to look at, and this thing was one of the fastest vehicular, aerial things I've ever seen in my entire life. Jocelyn has a ton of plums. Would you look at the plums? Have you seen that with Will Ferrell? Go on YouTube, type Will Ferrell plums. You will not be disappointed. See the blooper. Look up the blooper reel for plums Will Ferrell. God, is that funny? I got to kind of hang out with Craig Robertson, the other actor in that scene, the dude from The Office. And we were throwing a football around for an hour or two, but yeah, he's in that scene and he's trying to not break character. And the scene is so funny. It took so many takes to get the scene right. Check out my plums. I'm not going to, it's hilarious. If you know, you know. Oh, man. Kenneth found a dropped grape under the fridge once. Wine? Yes, wine. Buy land. Give it to my children. Yeah, well, yeah. No, the only concern about the American Southwest is how we're being invaded right now. There's so much going on in those bottom states. Simplicity is divinity. Yeah, there's truth to that. No, I haven't eaten rice over ice, but I used to have a delicacy with my father, and it was, he was a gumbo cook insofar as we would open the fridge up and go, what do we have as leftovers that need to be eaten today? Ready then? I'm going to take some of this, I'll mix this together, and you make a gum, and then you add to it, and then you kind of add additional ingredients, but you're trying to use up what you have. But yeah, I mean, we would often have rice with milk and sugar and cinnamon. Oh, so good. And there's variations of vanilla and things you can add there, but it's so good. Dreamer grows figs too. Awesome. Tell me, give me tips. I need fig tips. And your figs have fallen? My figs are all coming in right now. But then I have 3 other branches going straight up. I thought the plant was dead, so I trimmed it back, and it went from 0 to, it's probably 8 feet now. But 3 of the 4 stalks are not producing fruit. Do I need to cut those off? I don't know what to do. This was gifted to me, and I'm like, I also bought some bags to cover over the top, kind of like put condoms over top of the developing figs to kind of keep them from the birds and the squirrels and the birds and the bees and the rabbits and the pretty little thing called love, or how the song goes. Trying to see his comment here. What's going on? Your figs have fallen. That's a great phrase. That's stuck in my head now. What is the 369 Tesla writing exercise? Yeah, I don't know, Kenneth. Changing it from UFO to UAP. How about no? Okay, Timothy knows. My plums. Hang on. Let me, you know what? I love that we're having a little extended moment here. We're in overtime. Thanks for staying with me in overtime. Honestly, I can't talk politics all day. It's maddening. Here we go. Oh, this is so funny. Am I going to get doxxed for this? Not doxxed. I'm going to. Okay, it's muted. Pulling this up. All right, it's going to run a commercial first. Can I skip? Jeez, come on. Who puts 90-second commercials into things? Like, if you want us to, here, I'll play you one quick take for the sake of commentary. Here, let's let it rip. I want to show. It gets so funny. Yeah, I want to watch the whole thing. Eastbound and okay, so this is from Eastbound and Down. Yeah, I've never watched it other than this clip.
Retired. Really? Can you feel the tension?
Can you feel the tension? Also, Will Ferrell's character reminds me of my friend Brandon's father. A lot. This
in the air right now? I know I can. I can feel it all the way down in my plums, getting all swollen with a light blue hue to them, fresh and ready for the picking. All the school children are lining up to put them in the sack lunches. Hey, that plum looks good. Can I trade it for your Twinkie? No, these are my plums. I want to bite into that plum and let the juice spill down my chin. You know what I mean? All the while, everyone's saying, I want the juice to spill down.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna stop there. Just that's the general gist of it. Oh God. Oh, I needed a good laugh today. I'm gonna watch the rest of that clip, and I hope the rest of you do as well. God, that's awesome. That felt good. It's so funny. My guitar player actually got to work with Will Ferrell in Blades of Glory. He's up there. He's one of the other ice skaters because he was a hockey player, so he's a good skater. So he got to be an extra up on the podium with Will Ferrell and the dude from Napoleon Dynamite. Jocelyn sang that same siren song. Yeah, say that 7 times fast. Say that same siren song 7 times. That same siren song will kick out those not aligned with the energies here. They say if you make it 5 years in Sedona, you'll be here for a long, long time. If not, Sedona will be a springboard out. Well said. And I said the same thing about Los Angeles. Very few, I mean, not very few, but yeah, very few people that I knew lasted. Now, from my group that went out there, yes, 2 of my bandmates have passed away. That's so weird to think about. We're still young. But my brother and Sean have passed, drummer and guitar player. But yeah, so Dave, our guitar player, he stayed out there. He's still there. Met up with him a few months ago. By the way, I did an interview on our YouTube channel. Check it out. I do like a 3-hour sit down with Anomaly. If you know Anomaly, AJ, we met up at the NAM convention for the 2nd or 3rd time. And we had a really interesting conversation about Trump, DeSantis, 2024 election, all that jazz. But yeah, so Dave lasted. He's there, and Melissa, who we went out there, is there. Went out there with, is still there. But a lot of people, they don't make it very long in Los Angeles. Like a year. I mean, if you can make it a year, that's something. If you can make it 2 or 3 years, that's a little bit more. Good for you. But very few people go 4 or 5 years. But yeah, once you do, you're kind of a lifer. For me, that's just, nope. No, I mean, but I lived there for 15 years. That's more than a third of my life. That's saying something. But yeah, I do remember, like you say, being spit out. I went to Sedona with my ex-wife. She's very, very spiritual, more earth religion bound, druidic and, what is it? Druid and Wicca, just all of the earth religion kind of things. And it's it's kind of like a lifetime study. Is it this in particular or that particular? But it's a kind of a broad spectrum of knowledge and wisdom and a path toward spiritual health. But I remember when we went there, she was ill. The energy was making her ill in a way that was different. That was just different. And it was heavy for her. And yeah, I went, we hiked the dome. Yeah, wait a minute. Check. Oh, I've had this here the whole time. I charged this up in the supermoon the other day. I keep this here in the studio. So here on the back, this is something that her and I sent to my brother, Chris. It said, Chris, we found this stone for you while visiting Sedona on our Southwest tour. I guess this was 2010. On a visit to Bell Rock, we allowed it to sit on the sun-baked Arizona Red Rocks and absorb the energy from one of the strongest vortex locations in Sedona. We made this photographic information sheet for you. Hope this stone serves you well on your current and future journeys. And it says, Ruby Zoisite. Photographed here at the Bell Rock in Arizona, Sedona. This stone is a combination of ruby and zoisite. Ruby is a strong firestone. Maybe that's what's going on. I'm doing this show and this thing's like sitting right here at my torso, and I'm getting fired up sometimes doing these shows, but okay. So ruby is a strong firestone that focuses on the heart chakra. It can awaken passionate emotions. Yes, I am feeling some passionate emotions when I do the Agree to Disagree show. And it was right around this time that I created the New American Media. I then went to, wow, this is such an interesting show today. I'm so glad I continued. But yeah, I went to the Greater World Earthship community in Taos, New Mexico, and I had a spiritual awakening in the Sangre de Cristos Mountains, Blood of Christ Mountains. It's one of the longest continually inhabited areas in the United States. The tribal people that have land there, I mean, it dates back. The reservations are legit. I actually got to go behind the scenes, which was really neat because what was her name? Michelle? She was like the main, I don't know what you call it, gardener, greenhouse person that oversaw several of the properties on site. She was married to a tribal elder, a tribal member. I don't know what level, but yeah, I got to go behind the scenes. You don't just let random white people go onto that. I mean, it is sacred land. It's not just, it'd be important if we'd appreciate if you'd respect the blah, blah. It's like, no. Nope. You don't cross this line, gringo, not today. I'm like, well, that's not for me. But like, I got to go with her because I was helping and we were working together every day. I would leave at lunch and I'd go work with her on the gardens, on the greenhouses. I love this stuff. But, yeah, and all these wild horses, these quasi-wild. They were somewhat penned in, but then they kind of weren't. They were like reservation horses, but they just roamed wherever the heck they were. I mean, big animals and just everywhere. Anyway, back to this. It says the ruby and zoisite. Ruby is a strong firestone focusing on the heart chakra. It can awaken passionate emotions, but it heals as well, which is good. The zoisite, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that, zoisite balances the strong energies of the ruby, making this combination stone excellent for balancing all energies, especially those that are quick and passionate. The merging of these two stones is also helpful with clarifying and focusing creativity, which comes from fire and the heart. If you often feel that your ideas are swirling about in your head, this stone can help balance and focus them. Wow, what a side trip. What a sidebar. And just think, only a couple moments ago, we were talking about my plums. I can feel it down in my plums. This is the perfect balance of esoteric and ridiculous.
If I recall correctly, my plums, beautiful bluish hue, the sun just dancing right off of them, just nice. Getting ready to take them to market.
Take them to market. Finish watching that scene. God, what a weird time to be alive. Okay, I'm gonna tear through these now. Hello, I'm from Eastern Europe. What's America like now? Whoa, cool. Wait, Eastern Europe. What part of Eastern Europe? I'm curious to know. Oh, check that out. X Talos XX. What's America like now? We had a heat wave last week, and the temperatures have cooled off a little bit, luckily. Mid 80s. America's infinite potential, but, sadly, we have really exposed immense, dangerous corruption that is now directly impacting / funding a lot of turmoil in Eastern Europe. Thanks for watching. What part of Eastern Europe? I'm curious. Dreamer Ultra says, when the Zetas fill the skies. That's a Muse song called Exopolitics. That's another one for you to YouTube. A valley is easily protected. Is a valley easily? I mean, like a mountain range or a hillside is easily protected, but when you're in a valley, I mean, you could get attacked from both sides. What am I missing there, Timothy? Right? I'm trying to... They grow easily here in Pennsylvania. Oh, they grow... Okay, so... trim it way back. Okay, so you're saying figs grow easily in Pennsylvania. Trim it way back. So are you saying I should cut off the 3 limbs that are not producing fruit? My 8-foot tree, should I chop it down to be 5 feet or 5.5 feet or something? I'm infinitely curious. Jocelyn says she almost moved. Wait, what? She almost moved to an Earthshipment house, but it didn't work out. It is expensive. We immediately found a passive solar home near Oak Creek in the shadow of Cathedral Rock, under the UFO portal mentioned in the Rendlesham case. There you go. Kenneth. Go figure. Well done. Well, since we're in overtime talking about anything that we feel like talking about, what is your favorite video game of all time? Oh, grief. Goodness. My heart calls me to mention, if only for a bronze medal, Legend of Zelda. Oh, God, what was the title of it? The secondary title. It had the Dark Realm and the it was like the Dark Realm and or was the Shadow Realm and the Light Realm, the Dark and the Light. And when you would take portal. God bless if this show isn't like connecting interesting dots right now. But you would hit, what would you play, the flute or something? You could bounce between the light world and the dark world, and the worlds were different. So there were different caves, different treasures, different side quests. So you were kind of maneuvering, and you can't get past this stone wall or this outcrop of stone, and you'd teleport to the light realm, and then the stone wasn't there, and you could proceed, and then you teleport back. Now you're at the top of the awesome game. Just the maneuverability of it was so cool. I love the 64, James Bond, the 4-player, the multiplayer, the first player shooter. Oh, it's such a good game, as well as Mario Kart in all of its incarnations. I was just thinking about playing some Fallout or some Call of Duty. I do some reselling. It's one of the coolest things on earth, I think, for you guys to check out. But you acquire things that are cool things, and then you sell them to other people. That's all. So I did a little bit of a buy where I got some video game systems, and the Wii isn't quite working. It's powering on, but then it's not reading the disc. So I'm gonna sell it for parts. I got an old Atari. I got an Xbox. I got this. I got that. So yeah, I'm looking to get into some of those games again. There's a stack of them. I want to make sure they all play. They're not scratched up or whatever. But yeah, maybe some Call of Duty, and then Fallout. Fallout was pretty cool. One of my roommates had played that for a while. I used to just kind of enjoy watching him play it. And I was like, it was fun watching that world unfold. And it really is, like you said, defending a valley. It's kind of about starting over. Fallout, yeah. Revenge of the Plums. F politics. It's a show. It is a show. And light will win. Jocelyn's laughing. I don't know what Jocelyn's laughing at. Maybe she's laughing at the plums. Now, I don't know how I feel about this one. I got an Eastern European here saying that I remind him of a dead guy. You remind me of Greek guy who died from laughing at a donkey eating figs. I mean, I almost started. Eeyore. I don't know. Did I say that right? Eeyore? Yeah, it's not my first rodeo with this fruit. I'm a plum alum. That's funny. I do encourage you to look into Robert Edward Grant's work on 432.081 hertz. Here, I'm going to type this in. What is it for? Here, I'll copy this. 432. HZ. What was it called? 432. What's the point? What's the point of it all? 081. I'm going to type it in. What am I supposed to know about 432.081 hertz? Robert Edward Grant. Let me type that in. Robert Edward Grant. Music. Philomath. Yeah, this might actually be the first concert piano tuned to 432.081 hertz. Sexagesimal time system based on musical scales. This might actually be what our drummer Sean was getting into. He was getting into the hertz. There's like frequencies that music resonates in a good way, and then there's the other stuff that'll deliver some demonic crap. But anyway, Timothy, I am here for the good and long term. Hey, may we all be here for the good and long term. Jocelyn adds Nam. I used to go every year. That was a while back. I was friends with the guy who owned Guitar City. That's awesome. How many NAMs did you go to? Are there any shows? Are there any concerts you got to attend that were pretty sick? Some of my favorites were an acoustic show at an upstairs cigar bar in Nashville for Summer NAM. That was Seven Dust. It was awesome. Oh, geez. I mean, we saw at the Gibson Custom Shop, we saw Ted Nugent shoot a flaming bow, pulled out a bow and arrow and shot a flaming arrow into a stuffed effigy of Saddam Hussein at the beginning of the second Iraq conflict. That was wild. I mean, we saw Brian Setzer, Megadeth. Geez, that day I met Bono from U2. That was one of the weirdest experiences of my life. I'm 80% certain I don't know. Maybe I'm 50-50 that I met an impersonator or I met the real Bono. I really can't tell, but it was so weird. It was very memorable. A lot of good concerts over the years. Heart. Oh, Heart was so good. Timothy Hanlon saying 432 hertz, also known as Verdi's A, is a vibration that tunes to an alternative scale called the solfeggio scale. Solfeggio. Oh, by the way, I didn't ask you, what's your favorite video game? Eastern European person. And where in Eastern Europe are you? I haven't got to that comment yet. By the relevant frequencies across the scale. Okay. Yeah, I'm interested. I'm interested in following that. I got it pulled up. It's a browser window. That's the thing with me. I got a million browser windows open in my head and then in real life and every one of my devices. Jocelyn says, that's a wonderful stone. Put it on your headboard and it will enhance your dreams and ability to remember them. Yeah, but if it's on my headboard, if it falls down, that could be the end of me. So I got to glue it or tape it or wrap it. I don't know that I'd want it just teetering there. What if I jostle Jocelyn? Hey, Jocelyn, what if I jostle myself in the sleep, switch from my back to my side, and this thing goes, I gotta be careful. That really did touch me. Put it on my headboard. Once again, plums. Yeah, so don't trust the Zetas. Are you Muse fans? Are you all Muse fans? This is off the 2006 masterpiece called Black Holes and Revelations from the band Muse, one of the best rock bands ever created. Lyrics. Open the sky. I'm trying to remember. I was going to start singing it, but we don't need that right now. Open the skies over me. I am waiting patiently. I'll wait for a sign. As conspiracies unwind, will you slam shut or free your mind or stay hypnotized? When the Zetas fill the skies, will our leaders tell us why? Fully loaded satellites will conquer nothing but our minds. I'm waiting patiently and I'll wait for the sign. Carried through the centuries, secrets locked up, loaded on my back, and it weighs me down. God, I'm going to play this song when the show's over. I'm so excited to play this. And then I'm going to play Plums. And then I'm going to look up Hertz. You guys gave me all this homework today. Thank you. When the Zetas fill the skies, it's just our leaders in disguise. Fully loaded satellites will conquer nothing but our minds. I'm waiting patiently and I'll wait for the sign. I'm waiting patiently and I'll wait for the sign. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of lyrics in there, but oh my goodness, it's an incredible track. Okay, so don't trust the Zetas, they lie. I'll keep that in mind. It's just our leaders in disguise. And we know that the leaders keep lying. It's like the leaders have the possibility, the potential to a lot of power, a lot of control. If you just treated the people right and you didn't do half of the junk that you did, you could still be successful. You could still live a great life here, have a lot of power and control. Just you couldn't be so damn abusive. So, like, reconsider. Really, get some help. Timothy says the people here will be at every choke point. Yeah, you sound like you got a strategic plan in place. Hey, you know what kind of person I am. If I have to end up over there in the Verde Valley, hope if you need an extra, yeah, I would be another mouth to feed, but I would pull my weight. I would definitely be valuable on the team. Okay, Dreamer says with the figs, we trim it way back and cover it with a blanket and garbage can. Do you trim it back every year? And when you trim it back, how far back do you trim it? Really? And so like every year you trim it to scratch and then it bursts up, it gives you a thing, and then you cut it down and then it comes back? Okay. With a blanket and garbage can for water protection over the winter. Yeah, my little one that I had for several years and gave me several plums, multiple years, it passed. Unfortunately, it passed this winter. I've never brought them in. They just stay out. Hopefully it's a hardy stock and it keeps, bouncing back, but yeah, maybe I should do a little bit of overwintering for it. You're right. I'm so interested in this. Give me more tips. More tips, please. The Verde Valley locals here are impeccably self-sufficient. Yeah, you have to be. It's an arid desert. The Sims, starring us. Yeah, I mean, we really are the main characters in. Oh, is that your favorite video game, The Sims? Or We Are the Sims? I mean, what's the difference, really? Timothy, man has survived every calamity for millions of years in this region. Yeah. Research the research the ant people. The ant people are very interesting. Those are the Hopi, right? And the giant spider webs in the skies. Yes, thanks, Kenneth. Yes, I have connected the dots between the Xbox conversation and the ex-wife conversation. I'm not going to make any jokes. Figs? Is that what Eric Swalwell has? Maybe Swalwell has figs on his property. Oh, he's the Democrat who's been banging a Chinese spy for a long time, and he still was allowed to sit on the House Intelligence Committee. House Intelligence Committee, I think. Congressional Intelligence Committee. Yeah, completely blackmailed and bribed and compromised and traitorous, really. Your point is the Verde Valley is fertility and Verdier. Verdier is the frequency 432 hertz, not 440. So 440 is the crappy frequency. That's the one that Hollywood likes to put out their demonic crap with and infiltrate our minds. Yeah, Kenneth, we got to get you a cartoon strip or something. I feel like these could turn into like little 4-panel, 6-panel comic strips talking about meeting Bono. You liked him, and he liked you too. Oh, it was so weird. Because I share a birthday with Bono. Fun fact. And I said, yeah, I met him. I'm like, hey, nice to meet you. I said, those TV shows in the mornings, the morning shows. Today is Thursday, August 3rd, 2023. If you celebrate your birthday on August 3rd, you share birthdays with celebrities, and Kato Kalin, Avril Lavigne, former Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, and Urkel, or something stupid like that. I like Adam Carolla. I don't know that he still does that. He used to have a segment where he'd, in the people that came on as guests, he'd play a cocktail party skit. Like you're entering a cocktail party, but everybody there is people born on your birthday. Same concept, just a different way to talk about it. My favorite Eastern European game is called Ukraine. Yeah. Poor. I want Ukraine. I want the calamity to stop. I am really ideologically aligned with Trump. I want it to stop. And it didn't start until Biden got involved again. And this is exactly who overthrew the country back in 2013-14. I am embarrassed for the role that the United States has played in this Ukrainian mess. My soul weeps for the situation. It's time to negotiate a cease. Like, let's cease and desist. Because things are not going well for the deep state and their Ukrainian toy, their puppet Zelensky up there. It's not going well. I mean, it's going well insofar as laundering billions of dollars of our money, not spent on. Anyway, I'm not getting into all that. You get my point. Kenneth B says Zeta, no. Zetas, no. Tatas, yes. Bing, bing. Oh, I'm so stupid. Line of sight. Just look at the local airfields in Verde Valley. Okay. Yeah, definitely have to get all my figs in a row. Huh. There are vast caves that man retreated during the excuse me. There are vast caves that man retreated to during solar events and war. Yeah. The ant people. I saw so many well-known musical artists hung out with John Entwistle, Jackson Browne, Top Hat, not Foghat, Top Hat, Ginger Baker, Eric Clapton, B.B. King. So many greats. I went to NAMM every year from 80 to 97. Wow. That's awesome. Timothy saying, yes, Goebbels pushed 440 hertz over 432 hertz back in the 30s, and after the war, they made 440 hertz standard internationally. Then I kind of feel like we might want to change that, right? We're not locked in, are we? It has to be that way. And Kenneth's plums hurt. Okay, I'm going to let you go. This has been awesome. I really enjoyed this overtime. I don't know. When I do shows and, with Blake, and prior to Blake, we had a third guest in here, and I don't know, she's gone a little incognito. She's in the same general area, Arizona area as well. Really, Jocelyn, if you've talked to her in a while, is she all right? Is she okay? You know who I'm talking about. She kind of just went sort of radio silent, mostly radio silent. Oh, okay, good. Jocelyn said it was a typo. It's fog hat. I'm going to beat Kenneth to the joke. Fig hat. Yes, I got dad jokes too, Kenneth, which is why I like them. But yeah, Jocelyn, if is Stephanie doing all right? She just kind of disappeared, which is fine. Like, but are we okay? Is everything good? Like, I'm a little concerned things aren't, I don't know. But yeah, I've really enjoyed this, this overtime. There's a lot that's been on my mind, but when I have guests on the show, I mean, Blake's essentially a co-host. I mean, I don't think it's officially titled as we're co-hosts, but we are. He makes the thumbnail that we put out every day, put up on YouTube or on. Excuse me. Too much talking. But yeah, Blake makes the thumbnail that we put out on what is it, Rumble, and then YouTube and whatnot. So he puts that out and then kind of lays out the topics and kind of lays out on his screen. He'll pull up a few things so he's ready to reference and cite and pull it up and we can discuss and all of that. But there's also a different version of me that I will be able to share with the universe when it's just me. That's not good or bad. It's not a knock on Blake. It's not a knock on me. It's just a different dynamic. I always had a bit of a hard time practicing the drums. I am a drummer, but what I love is collaborating with other musicians to just sit down and work on rudiments and technique. Look, I could have benefited from putting in countless hours doing that, but that's not really what I've been. That's not really my main jam. My main thing is the energy in the room with other people. And we had multiple conversations about copyrights, and it's like, well, I'm the singer and I play guitar and I wrote the chords and I wrote the lyrics. So it's my song. It's like, you wrote that song in my garage with the beat that I'm providing with you, with the stops and starts, the tempo changes, the bridge. Like, we are creating music together. I know technically that the chords and the lyrics count, but you know what counts? What counts is the agreement of the people in the room. What counts is how you decide to kind of set this out. That's what matters. And so, it's just, this is the way that I choose to communicate to the world when it's just me. And Jocelyn, yes. Well, back to Kenneth, Blake gives the thumbnail and he'll pull up a couple articles so that they're all ready to go. But mainly Blake provides the hair. Although I am blessed to have a head of hair on my head, my scalp. I'm thrilled about that. Jocelyn says, this has been great. So nice to not talk about politics all the time. It is a beautiful world. Have a great day, Brian. See you next week. Deuces, yes. Former DJ here. Oh, you're a DJ? Former DJ. Awesome. All right, go get ready for your Zoom call, Jocelyn. I'm going to take off. Whew. Yeah, it's been awesome. And football starts tonight. Neat. Yeah, let's look. It gets frustrating. It gets frustrating knowing what we know. They say ignorance is bliss. We can't go back. We can't unscramble the eggs. We took the red pill. We're done. We're open to things. We know what's up. And today we had our first troll, our first hater. Cool. We must be getting closer to the target, huh? But life isn't all bad. Let's resist the urge to get black pilled and just, everything's negative. Don't. That's an energetic signal that you're sending out to the universe. Don't take something like this and magnify it, or don't attract more of it to you. Put out goodness, put out energy of healing and prosperity and freedom, liberty, all the good stuff. So that's my advice to you. Try to stay more positive today until our next show, please. Try to be a little bit more positive if you can between now and Tuesday when we do our next live show. And Kenneth says, God's got this, Brian. Trust that. Yeah, man. As above, so below, and I am, and God's got this. We have to think that that's what this is about, that the good guys win, the good girls win, the good people win in the end of every movie. Not every movie, but almost every movie, for a reason. It's a universally understood concept. Karma's going to get you. You can only be a monster for so long, and then eventually, look at Game of Thrones. It's a battle of this and that, and they all go down. They all just they all take each other out. But it's just the hope and the belief. If it were verifiable, it wouldn't be a belief. It would be factual. But you got to have a belief that good people will win in the end, that there is a creator, there is a point to this universe. And yeah, we all have days where it's like, what am I even doing here? What's my point right now at this moment? What is it that I should be doing with my time? Time is finite. I don't have an unlimited amount of hours, days, weeks, months, and years, or decades to accomplish an infinite amount of dreams. My brother was one of the most interesting, talented people you would ever hope to meet. Ever. Amazing musician, an NRA certified instructor, a sommelier. I mean, just the things he had accomplished. Oh, here's something fun. Here, I'll show this to you since we're talking about it. This here is my brother. The perfect pair at NAMM, talking with Vinnie Paul from Pantera. I hope both of them are jamming up there in heaven. I like to think of heaven as a place where, like I said, I enjoy jamming. All the musicians have a place to just kind of collaborate and create new things together. Awesome things. But, he was younger than me. Why did he have to depart so quick? I mean, why? That makes no sense. Whatever it is, it's just a reminder that tomorrow's not guaranteed. So live 100% today. Do your life, live your life, be about living a great day today. Go live a great day. And that's what I leave you with today. Oh, no, I will leave you with this today. Here's what I'll leave you with today. And then I'm really going to drop it. Here we go. One more, one more clip.
feel it down in my plum.
Now the background actor's laughing.
Down in plums. They're getting a nice bluish hue. Getting ready to take them to the farmer's market. Special 2 plums for 1.
Go watch that. Laugh a little, live a little. I appreciate you all. I love you for participation. Share this with some of your friends, would you? Share some of this with your friends. We need to boost our numbers everywhere. We need common sense, wisdom, levity, introspection, esoterical searches for the meaning of life. I want to cover more than just politics, but it's just as things are burning, it you know, hey, I'll get to laughing about plums a little later. I'm concerned that psychopaths might be planning a false flag nuclear event to kind of drag us into World War III. And I'm here to say that, you know, I want to stop the pain and suffering that could potentially be inflicted on that cataclysmic timeline. I will not just sit by and pretend that's not a possibility, because it is. And it must be resisted. So we need all of you to participate. So here's what you do. We need you to follow The New American Media and the Agree to Disagree Show on all the platforms. On Twitter, we're at American_media_, at American_media_. On Truth Social, we are The New American Media. On X Twitter, we are, I told you that, at American_media_. I said Twitter still, didn't I? Rumble, The New American Media. Spotify, The Agree to Disagree Show. YouTube.com/The New American Media. We have 1,300 videos up there from 12 years. That's roughly 100-something videos per year. Subscribe and watch, sift through that. Go to thenewamericanmedia.com. If all our other sites are taken down, that will be our central location. We will never stop creating content. Facebook, we have a private group. Facebook group is awesome, but I keep it private, and maybe that's what keeps it awesome. Search you have to go character for character, parentheses, TNAM for The New American Media. So parentheses, TNAM''S. So parentheses, TNAMS, The Agree to Disagree Show, parentheses. If you search for it exactly like that, you can submit a request to join the group. And if it'll prompt a question, how did you hear about the show? Say, I watched the show, or Kenneth told me to watch it, or blah, blah, like type in an answer and you can join our private group. It's fantastic. Instagram, The New American Media. We're still there. Where else? I don't know where else we are, but follow us everywhere. Blake is at TV's Blake Walley and thenextlevelnews.com. So awesome show. I guess I had a lot to say. And I've just now scratched the surface. I could talk to you several hours every day. You know, and maybe I will. Maybe I will start ramping up the number of shows that we do in between the Tuesday, Thursday regular show that I do with Blake. I just think, you know, smoke them if you got them. What did I say earlier? Something, quaff them if you got them. Yeah, quaff them if you got them. Yeah. Use it while we can. We have the internet. Use it while we can. So go live a great day today. Much love to all of you. We'll talk to you again soon. Take care.